Welcome to the Typical Skeptic Podcast, where we dive deep, you decide. Questioning the matrix from UFOs, where the shadows are known reside. Robert Kalil busting myths like ghosts in the night. Paranormal pros, secret space ops, yo, we keep it real, no fright. Typical skeptical, you never sleeping all the lies. Aliens, they know hockey black ops in the skies. From abductions to ancient scripts, we flip the script wide. TSP style, mile after mile, truth can't hide. Hold up, TSP crew assemble, we dismantle the fable. My life targeted souls breaking out of the stable. Dormant howling, Bigfoot prowling, cryptids in the mist. Mandela the fifth twist in reality, can't resist the twist. Soul trap snapping, reincarnation mapping, holographic dreams. Near death visions, out of body missions, waking up the teams. No censorship here, we fear no elite scheme. Conspiracy kings ringing bells, hear the freedom ring. You never sleeping on the lies. Extraterrestrials, interdimensional highs. Welcome to the Typical Skeptic Podcast, where we dive deep, you decide.
Oh, camera. There we go. What's up, everyone? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, I got to turn up the volume. I'm not real set up here. I got to do the call-in number too. So, and we'll go over some stuff here. It's been a rough week to say the least. To say the very least, it's been a very rough week. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Welcome to the Typical Skeptic Podcast, guys. It's good to see all you guys as always. I didn't have a show scheduled tonight, so shout out to my good friend Derek Galloway and the audience. Derek said to me, he's like, dude, you should do another call-in show. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, and I love doing these call-in shows. I really do. So I'm going to call the call-in number now. We can get started, guys, and you guys can start calling in. Let me fire it up, and we'll get started here. I have some news to go over too. I mean, I didn't just come into this, I can go over some news topics and stuff like that, and yeah. But it's been a crazy week to be honest. It's been really wild. I needed this. I needed a break to. Okay, so let me.
You as host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound. Enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Awesome. Okay, great. So hope everybody out there is doing good. And so I think we already have a call. Holy shit. Let's get it on. Let's get it popping, guys. We're already getting it in for tonight. All right, here we go. Hello, you're on the air.
Wild card line, you're on the air.
Who is this?
This is Leatrice. I'm a friend of Nathan. And I wanted to say, you keep saying that, Art Bell was fun, and I think he was great, but he didn't touch things that you would touch. And I think he did an incredible job. You know what I mean? There's just certain topics he would not have gotten into.
Oh, I agree. I'm a big fan of Art Bell, but yeah, he wouldn't touch on some topics, so I totally agree with that. What's your name again?
Leatrice.
Oh, okay. Okay. And you're a friend of whose, did you say?
Hey, Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Your friend Nathan. Yeah.
Nathan Sizek?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I have a funny little Art Bell story. Do you remember the whole story with JC, that crazy, heavy-duty born-again Christian who had the Edna, the older woman at his compound? Do you remember that whole story that was going on for years with this guy calling in?
No, can you tell us about it? What is it? I don't know. I mean, might...
Oh, it was this thing that went on. It was a saga that went on for years that Art was having a great time with. He would answer the phone or somebody would call, and it would be this guy with a heavy-duty Southern accent and say, yeah, y'all, we're going to go to hell, and this is JC, and I'm
Oh, JC Webster, yeah, I know JC Webster. I'm sorry, yeah. So
Edna was this older woman who was sort of like his little slave. And she apparently like flew from the compound at one point. And he was upset that she left and this and that. And he was hunting her down. So one day I decided to call Art as Edna Pringle. And we had a blast. It was great. I put up this old lady kind of, you know, Christian old lady sort of voice, and it was really fun because I said to him, "Oh, you know, I'm sorry I wrote you that nasty letter." He says, "Oh yeah, that was kind of nasty." I said, I was under the influence of JC. And he says, "Oh, I understand." And it was just so much fun. And then I said, I hear that you have a compound there, you and George Norrie there. And he says, "Oh, no. George Norrie does not live here." Anyway, it was great.
That's
fun.
hilarious.
And actually kept going quite a while. I offered to come to his compound and take care of his little baby, and he kind of freaked out about that. "No, Edna, I think you ought to keep your head down. JC's looking for you real hard." Anyway, it was a lot of fun.
That's hilarious. That's really hilarious. And that's a great memory too to have. That's it. And the fact that you actually got to talk to Art Bell too, that's amazing. But let me ask you this: are you an experiencer as well? Like, what made you get into this? Like obviously you've been listening to Art Bell for a long time, and you're into the phenomena. So, like, what attracts you to this phenomena? Like, are you an experiencer, or have you ever had UFO, alien abduction, anything like that? MyLab, or anything like?
I've seen within a quarter mile of our house. We were coming home from the cinema once. I was out in the country, and there were four of us in the car, and the UFO enthusiast was asleep on the other side of the car. I was on the passenger side, and my friend and I, who were both on the passenger side, said, "Oh, look! Right above the treetops, there was this bright red lights all in a circle, and then also filled in, you know, so it was like a circle of red lights that were like the bottom of the disc. I don't know. And then it just disappeared. We tried to get to a cornfield that was just around the bend to see if we could see it. It was there. It was just above, probably about 20 feet above us. I don't know, 30 feet maybe, right above some trees. But that wasn't much. I mean, I've had a lot of paranormal kind of things going on, and I subscribe to the whole soul trap archon thing. I've had so much evidence of it, but yes, I mean, everything that you're touching on, and you've had such great guests. Isabella Green, wonderful, incredible stuff that she's doing.
Thanks.
And, you know, I did want to very quickly. I'm a licensed nutritionist, and I had some ideas for your liver. I was wondering, you know, you're sort of public about it, so I didn't think you'd mind hearing a little bit of advice.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, when they diagnosed it, did they give you the indication that it's no big deal, it's not like cirrhosis yet, or what was the impression?
They said it was mild. They said it was like a touch of fatty liver. They said it was a very mild fatty liver, but then like the pain like would continue for months, and then, you know, I ended up getting with Matthew Morney, and he's a good friend of mine. You know, I'm sure if you watch my show, you know this. And Matthew suggested Tudka. So for all you people out there that are, that have liver issues or liver gallbladder issues, this is it right here. It's called Tudka, TUDCA. And basically this stuff's it's bile salts, BILE, bile salts. And basically, I don't know if this gets in there and moves stuff around in your liver or gallbladder or what, but like, it takes the pain away. I know that. Like, I'll tell you what, it's helped so much that I don't even have liver pain anymore. Honestly, like I don't have liver pain anymore.
I'd like to add a couple of things. First of all, 30% of the population has fatty liver, and that's growing. And it is actually a big deal. I mean, it's, you may have a mild touch, but it's definitely something to try to mitigate. And there are things that can really mitigate it. The touch is great, but there's something called butyrate.
Okay, butyrate.
Be like boy, U. Be like Thomas, Y, RATE. And they will slowly break down any kind of stones. And the liver is just filled with stones. It's not just the gall, but everybody's got stones in the liver. And that doesn't help, with the liver functioning and whether if it's getting fatty or cirrhotic. But butyrates are great. Body Bio is a really good company for butyrate, Body Bio. And they're actually, that's why butter, if you can get raw, clean butter, or not even raw, there's something called butyrates in there, butyric acid. If you can get really good quality butter, which won't be at the store, and it's often not at farms, depending what they're feeding their cows, that is extraordinary. One way, that's extraordinary for the gut and the liver and all. Butyrates would be great supplementally. And the other thing is any kind of overeating, and it's not just, oh, you're eating fat so you get a fatty liver. Especially carbs. If you eat a bit too much, it will start to, if you were to, you could potentially completely, the comfort food is in the carbs. That can make a huge difference. And also, and then the rest of the 24-hour period eating. Those aren't fun.
Basically, what I've been doing is I started dieting hardcore, and I'm back on a hardcore diet. I started working out more today, and then I've been doing like the vegan protein powder. Like I do vegan protein powder with like milk. I use milk, so I'm still getting like animal protein because I use milk, but like I like the vegan protein powder for whatever reason, because usually when you get the vegan protein powder, it has BCAAs, which are branched chain amino acids. It also has digestive enzymes, and it also has probiotics in it. So you get all that. And then the one I get is by Orgain, and they use a lot of, supposedly they use, I mean, I can't verify this, but like they use a lot of different like good fruits and stuff that they put in there. So like, it's a really, I think when you get the vegan protein powder, you're getting a really high quality. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it depends. I mean, like your fruit, when anybody puts fruit in a powder, they're just drying the fruit up. They're not, if you're going to want to get something that's like a vegetable or fruit, don't just take the powdered apple. I mean, you take a bite of an apple, and that's how much will be in there. You might as well eat the apple. But also, it doesn't sound like it's going to be. They're probably adding things like that to make it taste better, but that's increasing the carb again. I mean, just try to keep the carb down. Like, eggs are fantastic, but don't like have a bunch of toast with it. Like, if you had 3 eggs, maybe bread, or not at all, or a little bit of potato, but just keeping it down over time can really help. And just don't overeat at any given meal either, because that'll do it. And just one other thing, this is kind of expensive, but it's beautifully researched and extremely clean product. There's a PhD, a really sweet, cute, very intelligent Asian guy who went to South America. He was studying a certain plant, and he found that every time he would get the extract of the plant out of it that he liked, there was something else there. Anyway, the upshot is he's the guy who developed tocotrienols. And tocotrienols can actually reverse fatty liver and cirrhosis to a point. And if you look under Designs for Health, that's a company, they carry the tocotrienol, and they call it annatto B. They are so pure that they don't even use solvents to get the extract out. So they mechanically press it. If you take it, you can't take any alpha tocopherol, which is a common form of vitamin E, or it will just undo it completely.
Yeah.
But it is a bit expensive, and to be honest, you could probably accomplish the same thing by, doing what you mentioned. But do add the butyrate, because the TUDS is great, but butyrate, people do this thing where they'll do the Hulda Clark thing, where they pass a whole bunch of hopefully past bunch gallstones. I don't know if you've tried that, liver stones, but it's kind of dangerous. That's where you do the olive oil and you do the magnesium sulfate. If they move and get stuck, you could have emergency surgery. But what's nice about the butyrate is if they slowly, safely dissolve what you have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I was going to ask you a favor. Can you do me? I'll give you my email. My email is real easy. It's typical skeptic and then the number 1 at gmail.com. I was going to see, could you put this in an email so like I have it so I can use it for reference? Like,
and in fact, there's a webinar I was invited to. It's pretty technical, but boy, does it go into, it'll go into how this helps fatty liver, and it really describes these shows. And then I asked, because I was part of this webinar, I asked him, I said, did they do before and after imaging or biopsies to see if they really got the liver, decrease in fatty liver? And he said, yes, they did that. So these are considered nutraceuticals, but they're so well studied and passed FDA, and they really went the whole 9 yards, and they're so clean. But anyway, I'll send you a link to the video, and I'll send you a link to the product. I'm not trying to make money or anything. I just,
No, I appreciate it. I really do. And like before we move on to the next caller, is there and we're gonna do some news. Like, did you want to leave the audience with anything or like any anything else you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I'd like to say this thing about moving into the heart and doing shadow work and getting that ego construct out of the way so that you can have a real life instead of the fake life. It's, I'm preaching to the choir, but I would say I'll leave with one thing that I think sounds really, really helpful. This idea of the ego, which is such a mess. If I was in India seeing gurus years ago, and they say, you can't force the ego to go. It's like you can't rip the skin off the snake. It'll come off when you're ready. But when Eckhart Tolle, which I think he has some problems, but when he defined what the ego was, and I finally really understood the nature of it, it really helped liberate me. He calls the ego identifying with the false mind-made sense of self. So somebody in Africa, a woman might think, I'm going to project this idea, maybe I'll have a big butt and I'll be attractive. And, remember those cardboard cutouts? You're probably too young, but we used to have these little dolls that were paper dolls. And they'd have these little cardboard cutouts of different images you put over the card. And it's sort of like that. We project to people what we want them to reflect back to us. Like, I'm intelligent, I'm slimmer, I'm more attractive than I really am, and I put a cardboard cutout in front of me, and the first little wind that comes down blows it down, and we quickly pick it up and put it back up in front of us. So he was describing the ego as identifying, that's me, with the false mind-made sense of self. And so for me, it might be projecting, my knowledge or my intelligence. But when you see that it's all fake, and that really, honestly, how much pleasure or satisfaction do we get from that, right? I mean, it seems so fake, and it really, for me, it helps to realize that it's just a delusion, and that it's far better to just try to be authentic and not fill the space with something that's just not even real. But anyway, now I'm preaching. But thanks for listening.
No, this was amazing, and thank you for calling in. It was really cool talking to you, and I'd love it if you called in again, and this was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, take care, Rob.
All right, take care. Bye. That was a great first call of the night, guys. That was a great way to kick it off. We got her. She told an amazing Art Bell story. Then she got a little bit into supplements. I know a lot of you guys are like me. You like hearing about the supplements and the alternative health stuff. I think that's the most important thing we can do right now, especially for me, because I'm 45 years old. By the way, guys, you can call in at 573-877-7637 if you're watching on X, or you're listening on X, or you're watching on Facebook, or you're watching on Rumble. You can call in again. Once again, it's 573-877-7637. And don't be shy. You know what I mean? We want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. You know what I mean? It'll make the show go better, all that stuff. And I have some news topics to go over too, so we can do that. We can go all over the place. I see Sovereign Cosmic Wildman and Carter in the chat, Jason, Spider Bite. And you guys, if anybody wants to call in, feel free. But no, like I was saying, like before I got off track, like I think the most important thing we can do right now is take care of our health. You know what I mean? Especially with the, what we know, and what we know is we're all, we're in the conspiracy realm, right? We know that there's a lot of poison in the air. There's a lot of poison in the food. There's poison in the water. So, it really, the more you take care of your health now, the less you're going to pay for it later, or even, in the long run. So, or in the short term, so I'm preaching. I was, for the longest time, wait, someone's, oh, okay. I was saying, like, when I went through my breakup or whatever, I let myself get out of shape, so I don't know, but I'm back on track now. I'm getting back on track now, so, but how's everybody doing in the chat tonight? Here, I'm going to start reading some questions. I'm going to read some comments from the chat. And yeah, if you guys don't want to call in, we can do comments from the chat too. This one's from Sovereign Cosmic Wildman. He says, Rob, you can also talk to us, fill us in on some time. For example, you can tell us some stories and experiences with the guest. Those Sean David Morton episodes are pure fire, and we'll be rewatching those often. Yeah, thanks, man. I like Sean David Morton, honestly, is one of my favorite guests of all time. You know what I mean? And I'm still in touch with his wife, Melissa Morton, and she wants to come on the show. Matter of fact, I gotta message her back about doing a show. And she still wants to carry on Sean's legacy, but like I love those people. I don't know if you agree with this, Sovereign Cosmic Wildman, but I love those people, like the people like the James Bartleys and the Sean David Mortons, who they can get into like old school ufology, old school UFO cases, old school alien abductions, but then they can get into like new stuff too, like military abductions and, reptilians and like, I mean, like, not that stuff's real new, but what I'm saying is like, they stay with the trend, that they stay with what's current. You know what I mean? Like they can get into like the cutting edge fringe topics, but then they can also get into the old school stuff too. You know what I mean? And I feel like it all ties in together. So, to me, those are some of my favorite guests, and I just was talking to Coley before the show, and we booked Jim Goodall for Friday. So we're going to have Jim Goodall on the show Friday. I'm excited for that. Jim Goodall's an amazing guest. Like, I'm really excited for that show. That should be a really good show. So, and that's a Rob and Coley show. And then I think we have Patrick Cross Thursday. And then Sunday is who does she have Sunday? I can look at the schedule. Let me see. She sent it to me. Let me see who we have. Let me see. So we have Thomas Ferrario Saturday. Thomas Ferrario Saturday. Samuel Chong and Thomas Ferrario are Saturday, and then Jim Goodall is Friday, and then Patrick Cross is Thursday. We have three nights of shows, me and her, and then I was supposed to have on the Psychic Duck, but I have to reschedule the Psychic Duck because I had these shows scheduled with Nicole first. And, so, but usually the Psychic Duck's pretty cool about it. She should be, she'll be okay. You know what I mean? But, I love the Psychic Duck too. She's one of my favorite guests. You know what I mean? She really is, and the people love the Psychic Duck too. So like, I don't want her to get upset, like, honestly, because like she's amazing. And anyway, so I see Finsta's in the audience over on Rumble. What's up, Finsta? If you want to join us on YouTube, dude, you can. But like, I love the fact that you're watching on Rumble, because like we need more people watching on Rumble, man. Like, oh, by the way, guys, I just dropped an interview. I did it at 9 a.m. this morning with Gareth Ike, the son of David Ike, and the creative director behind iconic.com. Me and Gareth did an hour today on Rumble, and right now that's only available on Rumble because of the sensitive topics that are in it. So I may upload it to YouTube, but it'll definitely be on audio too. But also, one thing that's really important that I need to go over with you guys is I'm looking for a new audio podcast provider, because what happened was I used to be with Spreaker, and I really liked Spreaker. I was really happy with them. And then, basically they just host your podcast. Then you send it out to like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music and all that stuff, But so, I was with Spreaker, and then they demonetized me. And then I came over to Podbean, and I'm not even making like, it's not that I'm about money. Trust me, it's not about that, but I do have to pay my bills too. Right. And like, I'm not even making like a fraction of what I was making when I was on Spreaker. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous. And then Podbean tried charging me $40 a day, and I didn't pay them. I was like, I was like, I'm glad my card didn't go through, because like I didn't have the right card signed, whatever. But like I told them, I was like, I don't even want to stay with you guys. I was like, I'm not making any traction with you guys. Like, this isn't going anywhere. So I was like, I'm gonna look into some other options like Buzzsprout, and I think there's Libsyn, and there's a bunch of other audio. There's RSS.com, you know. So I don't know. I'm gonna. Selena's hilarious. Selena says, "Thank you for the fart bubble of protection." Oh, they have this ongoing fart. If you guys are listening, if you're listening to this on audio, they have this ongoing Sovereign Cosmic Wildman and Selena and Derek Galloway, and then they have an ongoing fart joke in the chat. So, you know, that's hilarious. So yeah, but again, if you guys want to call in, you know, the call-in number is wait, why did it go away? Hold on. Let me put up another comment here. And Finsta, I saw that you said you're Google free. That's cool, man. You know, more people should be, you know, because they're definitely big tech, and they're definitely like, you know, what's up, Chief Mustache? What's going on, dude? How are you? Okay, there it is, guys. It's on the screen. The call-in number is 573-877-7637. We need someone to break the seal. You know, like, remember those days when you used to go out and drink alcohol, and you would wait to take a piss because, like, you knew once you pissed, like, you were going to break the seal? Well, that's what we need someone to do here. We need someone to break the call-in seal, you know, and get it started. And we can fire up the lines, and, you know, we'll probably go for a while. So, you know, yeah, or you know, I can just read comments too. You know what I mean? I can do either one. But like, I definitely wanted to do a show tonight because, like, you know, but I do have some news topics too. Let me get to those right now while we're waiting on someone to call in. I got to pull up ChatGPT. I had ChatGPT look up like conspiracy, paranormal, and UFO news, and we'll see what it came up with. Okay, so it says, let's see I'll go to the conspiracy news first. So it says paranormal conspiracy fringe topics. Death of paranormal investigator Dan Rivera on the Annabelle tour. It says Dan Rivera, lead investigator of Nesper, died suddenly at the age of 54 while touring with the supposedly haunted Annabelle doll. The cause is listed as cardiac related, but many in the paranormal circles speculated about the doll's involvement or the curse of Annabelle. Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters publicly pushed back on the idea of Rivera's death that was caused by Annabelle, calling it a conspiracy jump. The dolls had long lore tied to Ed and Lorraine Warren, you know, the Ghost Hunters. People were skeptical of them, though, and it's moved from a museum to touring exhibitions. Okay, well, hold on that for a second. Because we have another call, and here we go.
On your call. Hello. Hey. It's
got.
You know what? Not bad. I saw that you had your number up, and I went, "Oh, I should call in because you have your number up," and I just saw it.
Yeah. So I mean,
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I just joined the chat, so
no,
I can't see the chat now because I'm on the phone.
No, it's okay. It's open lines. Like with an open line show, you can talk about whatever you want. You know what I mean? Whatever's on your mind or whatever you think would be interesting. You know, you can kind of just go. We can talk about whatever. You know what I mean?
Wow, I love it. Spontaneous. Geez.
Yeah.
Well, today was a fabulous day as always. Did some sun gazing and got some really awesome pictures as always. As soon as I can figure out the technology, maybe I'll pop on and show you all.
Yeah, but tell them a little bit about what you've been.
Like Rob.
Tell them what you've been getting, Jennifer. You've been getting a lot of orb photos, a lot of like interdimensional stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, I'll try. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm taking my camera and I'm pointing it directly at the sun, and it can be any time of the day. It could be in the morning, it could be midday, afternoon, just before the sun goes down. But what's coming in is a strong rainbow light, And through that is, I don't even know how to explain it. They're just continuous orbs that are coming from the sun, and as they come in, the colors can be kind of wherever I'm at. Like, for instance, I'm working on heart healing, so what comes in is these orbs, and they look like fireballs, and you can't really see them until you zoom in on the picture. But again, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Am I describing it? 'Cause, Rob, you've seen my picture, so am I describing it well enough?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's interesting. But what do you think it is? Do you think you're having some kind of contact or something like that, or what do you think it
Well, and again, I don't know a lot about sacred geometry, but this is what I'm always asking questions for in the chat. Is I'm looking at these shapes, and like, for instance, there's one shape that comes in. If you turn it right side up, if I turn my camera, it looks like the Ace of Cups. If anybody knows what a tarot card looks like, it looks like the Ace of Cups. I have objects that come through, but again, it's the colors. It's the colors that are just so magnetic, because I really don't know how to describe the shapes, the sacred geometry, other than that one that I just described to you that looks like the Ace of Cups. But what I'm seeing is, like today, it was orange and then green and blue. Most of the sacred geometry that comes in is purple and blue. The orbs the orbs that come to me that I've seen are white, green, yellow, orange. Yeah,
Wow.
those are the ones. But
That's
again,
amazing.
those are the chakras that I'm constantly, trying to balance.
I wonder if
pretty
there's
neat,
a correlation there, I wonder what the correlation it would be. That's interesting.
Well, what I think it is I think it's galactic angels, very powerful beings, because they have to be powerful to meet us at our density.
I agree.
And, I'm trying my darndest to raise my vibration so I can meet them at some level. And it's hard, guys. Everybody knows how hard it is.
Yeah, I agree. It is. It's hard.
It is, but it's a process. And, the more positive I stay, you guys know what I put out. What I put out is what I am. That's what I do on a daily basis, And it's reversing your mind thought.
No, I got a question for you,
process.
Jennifer. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sure.
I was going to say.
No, go ahead.
I talked to you personally too. I know you tell me stories about you and your husband and stuff, and I feel like I know your family. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're like a really close friend. Like, but what I wanted to ask you was, like,
Me too, Rob. Me too.
Yeah, I know you've been involved in spirituality for a long time. Like, how long have you been involved in this, and like in like spiritual teachings and stuff like that? And like when did you first start getting into this, and what drew your attention to it? And like, yeah.
Oh, here we go. You're asking me the big ones. How about I'll just put it in a slight nutshell. Was 2019 for me. It was before the big announcement, before everything changed for everyone. And I was very ill, and I don't know how I'm still here. Let me just put it to you that way. Everybody knows I put in the chat that my addiction was smoking. I quit smoking cigarettes in 2020. And, because of that, because I had self-sabotaged with smoking, that I completely shut down my lungs, I would say. And then on top of that, what happened in 2019, 2020. So I was one of those people that I survived. I survived it. I shouldn't have, but God has different plans, doesn't he, Rob?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Yeah.
So I've been going down the confusion. Oh my gosh, what has happened to me? Because I didn't come into this world awakened, but I came in with a moral compass. I came in with values, but like anything, you get derailed and distracted by the people that you surround yourself with and the environments that you surround yourself with. So until you take a good look at what you're choosing, then you decide to make better choices for yourself. And that's exactly what I did. I took a good look at my family and I saw how toxic we were. And I said, this has got to change. And that's what happened.
Wow.
And here I am.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, it's amazing how you can change your life around and like, you know, and then like you see
if
like
I can do it, anybody can do it. If you and you know, you guys, you know, I struggle with addictions too, still. But smoking cigarettes was probably an off and on thing because it was just an addiction that I was born into, like so many of us are.
Yeah.
You know, and then it can range from all kinds of different things. Just like Chastity's last show, that was a perfect example, and I love that Chili Man really highlighted that too. That was really wonderful, didn't you think?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Chastity, thank you, because that's the big addressment right here. We are all addicted. We're numbing ourselves because we're so confused because we can't believe what happened to us. We all have these stories. We all have these relationships. We all have this mind overtaking that keeps trying to tell us that we can't, we can't, and we can. Yeah. And I'm telling you, you can. You can do anything you want to do.
I agree.
You can.
I agree, 100%.
And you watch me, and I'm just going to get better and better and better, and so can you. Every single day, you put one step forward, and when you fall backwards, like, hello, I'm still smoking weed, hello. So, you know, you have to look at what you're doing.
I still smoke weed. I'm about to smoke weed right now, or
Exactly. I mean, but for me personally, exactly. But again, but for everyone, they have their own addiction. Well, guess what mine is? Mine is smoking. So that's what I have to give up. You know, there's people that drink. There's people that are addicted to pharmaceutical drugs, and so on and so on and so on. And you know what, you guys, just, it's okay. One day at a time. The fact that you're here on this podcast and you're in this community and you're listening to tarot or listening to things that are trying to help you understand energy and trying to understand what's going on in your body, that's the key, guys. Know thyself, know your body, know how it functions, know how things that you consume, how it reacts in your body. Because we're all different, but we're the same.
I was going to say, what do you think of
our bodies are different.
What do you think of the community? Yeah. Like, do you think we have a good community that watches the show and stuff?
Yes, I want to say yes. I'm going to be positive always. Yes, I think everyone out there is trying to make themselves better in any way that they can. Are there people out there that kind of sit in the hissing pits? Yeah, you know. Are there people that are wasting their time going down so many trails instead of just looking in the mirror? The best place that you can be is right in the mirror, working on thyself.
I agree.
And I've said it once and I'll say it a million times. You take care of yourself. You take care of each other. You take care of any animals that you're blessed with to have company with, that you want to take care of. I have two beautiful cats, mother and daughter, Zoe and Pearl, my black ghost tabbies that keep me sane. I recommend everyone to have some kind of animal, even if it's a wild animal that comes and you feed it, whatever. But the point is that kind of companionship, it keeps you sane. It keeps you sane. Because not everybody around you is in the same timeline, as we all know this. We're very frustrated with those around us that don't see what we see. It's a very hard road to ride, that patience card. And you know what? Every day you have a little bit more patience. Give yourself a real big pat on the back because you deserve it. It's tough down here, you guys. We all signed up for this. We did. We all signed up for this, and you're doing splendid. And every time you take a left turn instead of a right turn, vice versa, it doesn't matter because know which direction is wrong. Just one might be a little bit more windy.
I agree.
It's okay. You're gonna check yourself, aren't you, Rob? Isn't that what you keep doing?
Yeah.
Just keep checking yourself.
Yeah.
Keep checking in. Keep checking in.
That's a really good point, and something really interesting comment. A lot of people were saying about, like, when you were talking about, like, the improvements you made. People were saying, like, wise words, Jennifer. Good for you, Jennifer. I know you can't see the chat, but then.
No, I can't. I can't see the chat. It's so weird, you guys. I can't see.
But it also.
Oh, and now you guys know what I sound like. Oh, you'll always remember my voice. I'll never be able to disguise myself again.
Oh, that's okay. You have a great voice. Sonia Galactic in the chat, she says, "Why are there 2 moons in the Canadian sky tonight?" I'm going to put this comment up on the thing. Like, that's crazy. I wonder.
Ooh, that's really cool. I want to know why. Who's going to find out?
I know.
Who's going to research that and find out for us? Who's on it? Who wants to do it? Who in the chat's going to say, "I'm doing it"? I'll find out.
I bet you
Report back.
Jason
Let
will
us
look
know.
into it. Jason's really good with that kind of
Jason
stuff.
will.
Yeah.
Yay, Jason.
Yeah.
Hey, big shout out. I'm trying to think of whose names I saw in the chat. Hey, Jason. Hey, Selena. Who else is in there? Hello, everybody.
Coley's in the chat. Kurt is in the chat.
Hey, Coley. How's it going?
And I'm seeing who else. Kurt's in the chat.
Wild Man. Hey, Kurt. Wild Man's in the chat. I saw Wild Man.
Jonathan Pushing Buttons is in the chat. Selena, Spider Bite. I love Spider Bite. She's so cool. You know, and Sonia Galactic's in the audience.
Spider Bite. Hello, Spider Bite.
Sovereign Cosmic Wild
Oh my
Man.
gosh, this is so fun.
Jim's Isadora says 2 moons equals Project Bluebeam. Maybe it could be. You know, I don't doubt it. You know, I don't. You know, Jordan's in the chat. Hi, Jordan. Good to see you, bro. You know.
Hey.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like, well, I guess we'll move on.
This is awesome.
Yeah, well,
spontaneous.
Yeah. This is someone asked. This is JJ. Yeah, this is Joyful Jennifer, Chief Mustache, and Jerry Lahane says good caller, and yeah, anybody else that wants to call
me, guys.
Yeah. Do you want to leave the audience with any before we move on to the next caller? Do you want to leave into the audience with any wise words, Jennifer?
Oh my gosh. Well, all I can say is be true to you. Be true to you. Pay attention to how you feel, because how you feel matters.
I agree.
And you know what? One step forward, everybody. I love you guys, and I'm really proud of you. And it's nice to meet you guys. I can't believe I called in.
This has been fun. Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. And I said, I consider you a great friend, and it was great. I'm so glad you called in.
I love you. You're good people, and you're opening doors for people to really. Coley, you guys joining together. I mean, you're opening doors for people to be able to make sense of what's going on in this reality. And you guys aren't crazy. You're just programmed, and you will evolve out of these cycles and programs and patterns that were pushed upon you. You can do it. You will do it because you're here and you're listening and you're watching these shows, and it's gonna click. It's gonna click. Every time you listen to something, it's gonna click.
I love that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
And you're going to find it here on TSP. So stay tuned in. Support Rob. You know what? Send him some cash when you can. Buy him a coffee. He works his hiney off. Gosh, I wish you had days off, Rob. You need a break, buddy.
I know. Every time I get a small vacation, I want another one, like right after. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I know.
You know, so
okay. Well, I'm gonna let you go so you can get on to the next caller. But it's been fun.
All
Love
right.
you, everyone.
Check out the chat.
Keep
Everybody's
shining,
saying great.
Everybody, keep shining.
All right. Goodbye, Jennifer. Thank you. That was Joyful Jennifer, guys. That was an amazing call. That was these are like the greatest calls. And Jason, Jason posted the call-in number. And yeah, I consider Jennifer a good friend. She's been listening for a while. Actually, before someone calls in, let me just go pee real quick, guys. Like, I hate to leave you dead air, but you guys will be cool in the chat talking to each other and stuff. Like, I got to take a leak real bad because I drank a lot of coffee. Give me 1 second, all right? All right. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. And anybody who wants to call in, can call in 573-877-7637. I just smoked a little bit of weed, so I'm probably in a laughing mood. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman said we can hear the piss. No, you can't, dude. You can't hear that. You guys really seriously couldn't hear me going to the bathroom, right? Please tell me that. Oh God, that's embarrassing. You know. Flixlove says we can check his prostate function. That's hilarious. I love when people make me laugh when I smoke weed. You know, I think I was telling Coley, I was like, you know, one of the things I love to do the most is like laugh. You know, I wish we can incorporate more humor into the show. You know, I try to whenever I can, but like, you know, like sometimes you get like someone where you just want to laugh and then you don't feel like it's inappropriate. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'm holding back my laughs. Those are really funny. You know, like when I'm like, you know, when something funny happens and it's not really supposed to be funny, but like it's hilarious and you're like, oh my God, I can't laugh. I don't know I can't really give you an example of what that would be. You know, it would just be like, kind of like whatever, you know? But I would have to, you know, go back. I mean, 2,200 shows. I'm sure there's been a lot of, you know, something like that. But yeah, let's see if we got any calls coming in. Nothing yet. Okay, so I could go back to the news here, or I could read some of you guys' comments while we're waiting for the next call. But so that was what I said before. That was about the guy dying that was on tour with the Annabelle doll, you know, which was interesting, you know. And if you guys know my story, I used to know someone who had a haunted doll, you know, and it was a freaky story. And I know she shoved it in a wall in the middle of Pittsburgh somewhere. So I feel bad for the family that had to deal with that. Let me see here. I'm looking for some good news to go over. Okay, so we haven't covered this yet. Now, this is something that was covered at the congressional hearings. There was a missile supposedly that bounced off a UFO, and the footage was shown in Congress. Representative Eric Burleston presented a video during House hearing reporting that to show an MQ-9 Reaper armed with a Hellfire missile striking an unidentified orb off of Yemen, and the orb allegedly continued on. This has raised questions about the physical properties of UAPs. Are they intangible, able to absorb impacts, or using some kind of defense mechanism? Witnesses criticized the Pentagon's UFO office, AARO, in the same hearing for allegedly using science and coming up with answers that don't satisfy experiencers. Also, critics say the UAP office is too quick to dismiss or explain away testimony and evidence. And then it gives me angles. It says, angles. If a missile can't disrupt the UAP, what might this imply about its material technology? What do you guys think? Also, could UAPs be defensive or cloak craft or even interdimensional? And then also, how much of the UAP disclosure process is political theater versus genuine transparency? I would say absolutely a lot. You know what I mean? It's all bread and circus, to draw us away from what's really going on, you know? And, like I say, I always want what's called full disclosure, and once I found out more about like these black ops programs that are going on, like, targeting and, secret space programs tied to satanic ritual abuse and all that shit, military abductions, you know what I mean? Alien abductions, hardcore alien abductions with human mutilations, you know what I mean? Super soldier program, you know what I mean? Like, that's full disclosure, because a lot of that stuff is really happening. I'm sure some people come on here and bullshit. Like, that's going to be, right? You're going to get a few liars, right? But like, I think a lot of this stuff is really happening. You know what I mean? It's not, I'm not being skeptical, and I believe every one of my guests, right? Or most of them, I believe, but I'm just saying, like, I tend to be more skeptical. But like, when you look at this stuff, I really think a lot of this stuff is going on. You know what I mean? And people have like valid testimony that, like, and why would all these people be starting to get their messages back? Not messages, their memories. I think I keep asking that question over and over again. Let me see here. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman says, if it was an ethereal interdimensional UFO, the missile would have gone right through it. That's a good point. Oh my God. Flix loves cracking jokes in the audience tonight. So this is hilarious, guys. Flixlove says, full disclosure, is that like a naked Rob wearing a raincoat and flute? Jason says, what about the Bortland testimony? I could look that up. Let me look it up, Jason, because I'm not real familiar with it. What about the Bortland UAP testimony? And anybody can call in. Call in. The number is 573-877-7637. I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, that's what that's what tonight's all about. But, you know, we have a little bit of dead air right now. You know, we're waiting for the next call in. But I want to keep reminding you guys that you can call in 573-877-7637. Here, let me take this comment off the screen. So it says, okay. Jason, I found it. The ChatGPT says, I found solid information about Dylan Borton's whistleblower testimony, sometimes misheard as the Borland cover-up. It's a compelling one to bring you up on your show. Here's a breakdown of angles you can explore. It says, Borland testified before a White House task force on UAP UFO disclosure and whistleblower protections. He served as the UFO Force's intelligence specialist, defense contractors analyzing video optical data. Bortland says while on base around 1:30 a.m., he observed a 100-foot equilateral triangle, like a triangle craft, silent, no wind disturbance, phone interference, and then it rapidly ascended into commercial jet level. Bortland states that in later roles, he was briefed and exposed to classified programs relating to retrieved craft or anomalous craft. And, one thing I wanted to say to all our international people out there, if you want to call in and you're international, all you have to do is dial the number 1. Before 573. So you dial 1 on your phone, then you dial 573-877-7637. I'd love to see if it works for an international caller, because then if it works for one international caller, it should work for all international callers. And then we can get a lot more people involved in this show. You know what I mean? Because I want the international people to have a voice too. Can someone international try, please? Now, if you can, like, if you're international, if you're not in the United States and you're watching this show right now, I want you to try to call in. And you have to just dial 1. That's the United States area code. You know what I mean? It's 1-573-877, or not area. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's the country code. Yeah. Yeah, so I'd love to get an international caller. Yeah, that would be amazing. And then going back to this Bortland testimony, he asserts that he's been blacklisted from certain agencies. He's had security clearance manipulated. He faced harassment and obstruction in federal employment and other reprisals for speaking out. He contends that the official UAP office, AIRO, and related intelligence oversight bodies are often misrepresenting, slow walking, or hiding information. He made written testimony in public ahead of the hearing. Also, media coverage summarized how he was one of the witnesses pushing Congress to better protect whistleblowers and push for more transparency. Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that, Jason. That's amazing. Like, and thank you, ChatGPT. ChatGPT's like, so we didn't get an international caller, guys, yet. So I'm guessing that, like, we might not be able to get, you know, international calls, like, which sucks, because I really wanted the international people to be able to call in too. So I don't know if I have to use a different software or what, you know, like, and again, if you're just seeing this now, if you're international, I want you to try to call in, dial 1-573-877-7637 to see if it works. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman says the Stardust Ranch, and anybody can call in, by the way. You don't have to be international. You know, like, anybody could call in. I want to hear from you guys. Call in. It'll be fun. You know what I mean? And when you call in, you make the show. You know what I mean? Everybody's unique. That's what I love about call-ins, right? What I love about call-ins is because you get the raw voice of the people. You know what I mean? You're getting you know what I mean? It's like that street shit. It's like the street code, you know? You're getting it's like the realness, you know? Like, if it was like, if I was relating this to like rap music or something, this would be, you're getting like the raw shit. You know what I mean? It's like if oh man, I don't know. Maybe that's I'm high. So, you know what I mean? You got to bear with me. Okay, Sovereign Cosmic Wildman says the Stardust Ranch guy was onto something. He killed demonic aliens with swords. He has swords. I remember that, dude. You know what's so funny? I asked Carrie Cassidy about him because, dude, I always thought that was the funniest episode, that John Edmonds guy. I was like, this dude's insane. He was trying to say he killed an alien with a samurai sword. I remember that. But, like, You know, what's interesting, Sovereign Cosmic Wild Man, is Carrie Cassidy has that footage of that alien on there, dude. You know what I mean? You can see it peeking its head around the corner. You have to remember that. If you remember the Edmonds interviews, you have to remember that, dude. It was hilarious. You know what I mean? Well, that Edmonds dude was kind of weird, right? He was a little bit hilarious. Like, you know, I think he had some kind of horse ranch or something like that. You know what I mean? I think he said the aliens were bothering the horses or something. I didn't know there was like a beef between aliens and horses. You know, I mean, there's obviously like mutilations and stuff, but I didn't know there was like this ongoing, you know, I don't know. Anyway, James Isadora says Dogman San Bernardino research. It's for real. Thanks, James. That's awesome, man. Is there anybody that we can interview for that, James? Like, I'd love to, have someone on the show to talk about that for real. And thank you for your comment. Kurt, we got a call. Here we go. Let me see here. Let's see who's in. Let's see who's here. Hello, you're live on the air.
Hi, it's Selena. How you guys doing?
Good. It's good to hear from you. How are you?
I wanted to call in.
Yeah. Guys, this is Selena Ingalls from the chat. Like, if you guys know Selena from the chat, like, yeah. And Selena's done merch for me. She's working on a book for Michael Koff, and she's done readings on this show before. So you guys should be pretty familiar with Selena. So, yeah. What's going on though, Selena? What's new?
Not very much since last time. So pretty much the same stuff.
Well, one thing I didn't ask you about last time is, are you still working on your psychic abilities? Are you still taking like courses and stuff on that?
I'm not taking courses, but I have a mentor still, and I am still doing research and working on that stuff.
I don't know why I said course. I'm hilarious. I smoked weed, so I knew you had a mentor. Like, my mind's like retarded tonight. Yeah, but I know I knew you had a mentor, right? So, but like, I know that was a big deal for you because, like, but it's amazing. You're like coming into your powers. You're coming into your abilities, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's been difficult though, because at the same time, like, there's also a certain level of madness that comes with like overcoming and being able to control it as well. Like, you have to delve deep within yourself to like kind of unravel where you're triggered at, so that way you don't fall into psychosis. Because everybody, that can happen to anybody at any time, even the most spiritually advanced people. Like, it can be hard to differentiate between reality and the reality you're creating. Like, it's easy to get swept into it, like almost like what like I have is like vices or like things or weaknesses or parts of me that have been hurt or traumatized, like, and as I've been healing those things, like, there are more and more things that come up that I didn't realize that had been stuck in my body for quite a while and have been affecting me in such a way, like with like unconscious patterns and behaviors as well.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting you said that people can kind of almost, you said, go into like a psychosis if they're not ready for some of this stuff, right? Like, if they're not, like, you got to learn how to like balance, like you do your shadow work, I guess, right?
Yeah, you have to dance with it, because like you can't deny your shadow, but then you don't want it to absorb you either. So finding that fine line and balance is where it's at.
And the Native Americans and the shamans have been able to do this. Some like Native American elders and shamans have been really able to like kind of walk that line, it seems like.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Who's your favorite spiritual teacher to watch now? Or who you following lately? Are you following anybody good or anybody interesting?
I don't know. I don't really like follow, like, I follow people obviously, but there's a guy named John Vervecki, and he has a podcast, and he like goes deep dives into like a lot of stuff, and I like his stuff. And lately I've been like learning a lot about different things regarding like quantum physics and stuff, and things like string theory and just like the way that the universe is ordered.
Well, string theory
because,
kind of
there's a
like.
fine line between the.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was going to say string theory kind of proves the simulation theory, right? Or no,
Yeah,
string theory dimensions. Wait, string theory multiple dimensions?
It's like basically like imagine a ball of string that's kind of like unclumped, but kind of like on the ground. It's like all dimensions and all things at all times exist, and dimensions are stacked, and like everything is like interconnected and quantumly entangled. And so, like, string theory explores that in a physics way.
Do you think you've ever been to another dimension?
Makes sense.
Do you think you've ever been to another dimension?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've been to another dimension. Yeah, I think I have. Sometimes I think that I got stuck into this dimension from another dimension, and that's why, like, things have been so hard and weird for me here, because, like, I don't actually belong to this dimension. And interestingly enough, like, one time I was talking to my mentor about some stuff, and he kind of like confirmed for me that like I am from a different dimension, but like my body and my soul and my mind are tethered to here right now, but like, like there are people who can like phase in and out of like other dimensions, like just like, like they're like just going to the store or something, but like they say that when you start to time travel, which is kind of related, I think, into going into other dimensions, it's like you find the frequency of that emotion or that feeling, and then when you resonate on that level, then you like transfer to that dimension, sort of like timeline jumping, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Wow, like
yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the chat too. Like, you have a good crowd tonight. You don't need a lot of people for one of these shows. Like you just need like maybe 20, 30 people. You know what I mean? That's good enough for me. I wouldn't want it to be too crazy. Like, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like, yeah. But
Well, I think the call-in shows will get more and more popular too. I think
I hope so.
Like as people get used to them and know that they're there.
I like doing this. I like this more than a guest, because like I said, I think you get the raw realness of the person when you get a call in or some, for some reason. I don't know why. You know what I mean? But
I agree with you.
You do?
I also think that people. Yeah, I think so. I think people's voices carry like resonant also. So like when you hear someone talking, you can like close your eyes and see what images come to mind. And I think that's part of like our psychic abilities that we all have, because we're all communicating all the time in a much deeper way than mere conversation. And whenever we can hear the person's voice, it adds another dimension to it, to the experience. So then the experience becomes more in depth, and the experience becomes more evolved, because you have that added layer of the voices being there.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah. I would definitely want to keep doing it. Like I definitely do. Well, before we move on to the next caller, Selena, do you want? I know you said you getting ready to go to sleep. Like, do you want to leave the audience with any words of wisdom, or like anything you want to shout out or promote or anything like that?
I just want to tell everybody to keep going. Like things are really hard right now for everyone, and no matter how like other people may present themselves like to look like they have it all together, like none of us have it completely all together. We're all just trying to make it till we make it, and I think that the more that we can build a community of people that can rely on each other, the better that will be, because we're stronger together. No one has all the answers, but we all have a piece of it. And I think that the more that we look at things that way and accept people for their own unique experiences and perceptions, then we'll be stronger as a community and as humanity as well.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you one more thing before you go real quick. Do you feel like something's like, I know you said it's hard right now for everybody, and it is, right? Because it's like, but like, do you think like recently, like that the energies have been off a little bit? Like, I know I've asked other people about this and I get mixed, but like, do you think like, it seems like a lot of people were like, a lot of shit's coming to the surface for people, and I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think that. I mean, I think that we're in the middle of like a very intense spiritual warfare, and the elites that try to run the planet who fail are like putting in their last ditch effort to, like, it's like that narcissist who says, you know, I didn't do it, you know, but they're like doing everything to project, you know, onto you. But at the same time, that's why it's important to like know yourself, because if you can know yourself and what triggers you and where you may or may not like have a reaction, then you can train yourself to have a pause on it, so that way you can have more time to take control over it, because like you know where you might have an issue, you know, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, that does. That doesn't. Yeah. Well, this was amazing, Selena. Thanks so much for calling in. And aren't you doing a book for Michael Koff, like, or something? Are you doing like the cover of the book or something, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, we actually have put out. Michael wrote the books, and Erica and Marina also helped him edit the books, and then I did the covers, and I helped with editing also. So he has 2 books out right now, and then he has another one coming out on November 11th, and then he'll have the last one in that series in December. And in between that, we're going to make a coloring book as like a supplemental book to go with it, and that will be published under my name. But we're going to take suggestions for people who want to be in the coloring book, because it's going to be a secret space program coloring book. And if people have memories or things that they want me to put in it, or a paranormal experience, because I think it'd be cool to have a coloring book like that that's kind of everybody's, you know, so they can be like, oh, that's me right there. And so we have those books coming out. And what else did you ask me? I forgot.
Oh no, that was it. I wanted to see. I'll definitely go in there. I'll give you some ideas. You can do a typical skeptic character, and you know what I mean. It would.
Okay, for sure.
I don't know. I was thinking you could do one with like astral parasites.
That would be cool.
That's what I dealt with. Funny. I mean, that's what I dealt with. You know, it was real. It was fucking crazy, man. You know, it was like.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's over. You know,
right.
Like, seriously. It's like, it was like, I definitely learned a lot.
Oh, yeah,
but you know what? One thing I learned, Selena, I'll tell you this before you go, is I've been learning how to manipulate energy. Yeah. When I was with Coley in person, she was saying I projected my prefrontal cortex. Like, you know, so I'm able to send that. Like, I know how to send that. And then also, I told Matthew Morning about this. I've been able to feel the energy in my hands. Like, and like I'm you know, I can't manipulate anything yet, but I can definitely feel the energy like starting to build up in my hands. And Matthew said that's like opening your heart, because he said that's like the heart, the pericardium is connected to that area. You know what I mean? So I found that very interesting.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, when I first started coming into a lot of like my abilities, one of the very first things that I had to learn to do was how to feel my own energy, because I had been disassociated from the world for so long that I completely had isolated myself from allowing myself to tap in to feel those things, you know? So I think that the fact that you're already able to feel it, you like pretty soon you're going to be able to start manipulating things as well.
Wow.
Just your awareness, you're training your awareness to be able to do what many people think is impossible, but like the fact is, like, we are amazing. Like, we're better than any machine. Like, there's so many things that we are truly capable of that has been essentially hidden from us, or you know, tried to be suppressed. But I think more and more people are starting to wake up and realize like just how special and unique each one of us is, and that we all have abilities innately. Because I think everyone is psychic. They just have to learn how to tap into it.
You know, Coley can split clouds. Like she knew that I was projecting my prefrontal cortex, and then we were sitting in the car, and she was like, "Watch this." She's like, "I'll show you how to split a cloud." And she was like, the same thing you do with your prefrontal cortex. She's like, you just send that to the cloud, and it'll, you know, and it like, you know,
that's awesome.
You have to focus on it. And I saw her do it. Like she picked out the cloud. And she was like, I'm going to manipulate this one now. And I was like, well, fuck, man. I was like, if you can do that, if people can honestly do that, you know, I feel like that, like we can manipulate this entire reality in our favor. You know what I mean? Like we can do amazing things. I think that's why things like magic work, you know, and I don't think all magic's evil. It's all the way you use it, you know?
it's the person and their intention, I think, too. Like you said, it's how they use it.
Yeah. But like we can really create our own reality if we can do these things, you know. We can manifest stuff. We can, like, you know, it's like this. Once you realize that you can manipulate, you can do things like, you know, I don't know. I just think it ups the game so much, you know.
Yeah, and then I think that the more you get to know yourself, the more you are able to do those things, because you really know yourself and you trust yourself. Like, the more you build that trust connection within yourself, the more that you realize just how capable you are, the more and more things that will open up, because now you've reframed how you think and you know that it's possible. So it may not be exactly what you dreamed of in your mind, but if you stay open, then there's possibilities that you could do so many things that you have no idea that you could do.
Yeah, I agree. Well, this was amazing, Selena. Yeah, thank you so much for calling in. It was awesome talking to you. And yeah, and any final words before we go? Or you right? Yeah.
No, I hope everyone has a good night. Bye, everyone.
All right, goodbye, Selena. Thank you for calling. That was amazing. And guys, that was Selena Ingalls. You know, she's a longtime listener to the show, collaborator. She did readings on here. She did the Soul Tribe merch for me. Like, if you guys saw my Typical Skeptic Soul Tribe shirts, Selena made those shirts. And Jason says, "Thanks, Selena. Love you." That's awesome. Like, they met from the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, like that's an amazing thing. You know, and they're both great people. But no, Selena's done a lot of stuff for this show. You know, she's a good friend of the show, and she's a good friend. Yeah. And Joyful Jennifer says, working out the kinks. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the chat here. Or if you guys want me to read some more news, I can do that until we get the next call. And I'm going to put the caller number up on the screen. You know, it is 577. Wait, why isn't this working? Oh man, I hate StreamYard. Let me see here. You'd think that it would just be cooperative one night. I got to get a new computer, guys. Honestly, I need a new computer so bad. The news I just pulled, the news I pulled was She Mustache wanted to know what news it was. I just pulled some news from ChatGPT, like some paranormal, UFO, and conspiracy news. You know, I can go back to that if you want me to. I'll read something else. So far we covered a guy that got killed on the Annabelle tour. He was touring with the Annabelle doll, you know, the famous haunted doll. And then we also talked about the Portland whistleblower testimony. So let me see what else I have here. I have some interesting stuff. Let me see here. And sorry, guys, I smoked weed. You got to bear with me. I think there's something here about Skinwalker Ranch. This could be good. I don't know. What I wanted to say is, if you want to call in, it's 573-877-7637. And then I think, honestly, like, you know, we can, wait a second. I think you can call in internationally. I'm trying to say, you know, like, and you can do like international, you know, but like, I'm trying to see if, like, hopefully somebody can call in international. 573-877-7637. Fogvid 20. Yeah, Jason said this was a month old. Yeah, it was a month old. But, like, you know, I didn't specify like what dates to give me. It just comes up with anything. It's relatively new, Jason. I think that's what it is. Like, because it's talking about the Fogvid, which is the Foggate scandal or whatever. It says Fogvid 24 is a social media conspiracy narrative claiming that unusually dense fog in late 2024-2025 was engineered chemical, biological smart dust or covered hidden operations. I think it was. You know, meteorologists and fact checkers attribute the phenomenon to normal fog, seasonal respiratory illness, and misinterpreting of lighting optics. The movement ties into larger conspiracies around weather modification, chemtrails, mass exposure. I mean, I believe the fog gate, you know, I really do. Let me see here. Oh, Sovereign Cosmic Wilds Man says, if the video of the moons was sent, is it possible to show on here? Yeah, I can show it. You would have to send it to my email, And then once you send it to my email, which is typicalskeptic1@gmail.com, then I'll pull it up and share my screen and show the image or show the video, whatever you want me to show. Yeah, I can do that for absolutely sure. And I think that would be interesting too. Definitely send it. If you guys got footage of these two moons tonight, send it in. We'll put it up, I can look. Jason says, what about the UK drone flap? That's a good one. Yeah. Let me see. Let me check it out. UK drone flap. Jason, you know a lot of stuff, man. You're awesome. Like, it says, what's going on? The UK drone incursions. It says, over British US-used military bases, small unnamed drones have been spotted flying over the near major bases such as RAF Leithink, RAF Mildenhall, RAF Feltwell, and RAF Fairford. The U.S. Air Force confirmed these sightings began around November 20, 2024, and have persisted intermittently. The drones varied in size, configuration, and number. The number of systems fluctuated. No confirmed identification of public attribution yet. As of the latest reports, no group or nation publicly claimed responsibility. The U.S. and U.K. are cooperating and monitoring the investigation. The bases report no damage, no harm to infrastructure. Reports indicate these drone flights have resumed after initial detection, with multiple bases being affected simultaneously. The UK Ministry of Defense has said it's multi-layered and credible force protection measures, but declines to divulge operational details. The UK is developing, testing directed energy radio frequency weapons to counter drone swarms. The Rapid Destroyer System, a UK radio frequency directed energy weapon. Oh my God, this is crazy! They're making direct energy. You hear this? They're making a direct energy weapon to go at drones. It says the Rapid Destroyer System, a UK radio frequency directed energy weapon. It says RFDEW reportedly has been tested against drone swarms and successfully neutralized over 100 drones in one trial. Rapid Destroyer is a part of a Project Ealing with the goal of tracking, targeting, and defeating swarms of UAVs. The cost per shot is low on order of cents in media claims compared to traditional missiles. Experts and commentators describe the phenomenon as part of a collective anxiety attack. Geopolitical tension plus uncertainty plus longer nights, more darkness, increased reporting, misperception, and vigilance. There's a concern that some sightings may be misidentifications, optical illusions, reconnaissance, or domestic commercial drone activity. Wow, that's amazing, Jason. That's crazy. And right there, that just like proves the directed energy weapons too. They're actually using a directed energy weapon to take down drones, which probably are UAPs, right? Of some sort. Because like if they don't know what they are, Hey, Karen McDonald, good to see you. And guys, if anybody wants to call in again, the phone number is 577. Wait, it's here. 573-877-7637. And we'd love to hear from you. We had some good calls tonight so far. We had 3 really good calls, so it's going well, and I want to do this all the time, guys. I want to make this like a regular thing, like it will be a regular thing. No matter, I don't care if anybody else doesn't call in tonight. We're going to keep doing this, because this is fun. This is real fun because you never know what you're going to get from someone over the phone. And like I said, it's just, I think it's a blast, and I've told you guys, I always want to do this, like ever since I used to listen to Art Bell. Emma, try to call from Canada. Like I asked people if they could call internationally, please, because like I want to find out if people can call internationally. Try to call the number 1. Like all you do is put a 1 before the number, Emma, because 1 is the United States country code. We want someone to test it out and let us know if somebody. Oh, whoa. Karen McDonald reports James Rink is in the hospital. SSPCon starts Wednesday. And James Rink's in the hospital. And how's the conference going to start without James Rink? He's the one throwing it. Karen, maybe you could call in. You could call in, Karen. Like someone from Canada could call in. That would be great. I think Call In Studio does accept Canada, so that would be great. And I'd love to hear more about this James Rink thing. Why is he in the hospital? I consider James a friend. I consider him a good friend, you know. Like, I've done a lot of shows with James Brink, you know, like, and, you know, I feel for him if he's in the hospital. I'd like to know what's going on. Derek says, hopefully he gets better soon. I know, right? He has team, met with them, cannot call on my plan. Oh, Karen can't call. Damn. Damn. I wanted Karen to tell us what is going on with James Brink. I wonder if I should give Karen a link and see if she could join. But then that would kind of throw us off our callings, right? You know, I don't know what to do here. I don't even know if she would come on, you know. Karen, would you want to come on and tell us what's going on with this situation for like 5-10 minutes or something? You know, no, I don't know. Because I still want to do the call-ins, but like, you know, I'd love to hear what you know about this situation. Karen says she's going to get the Super Soldier Talk live stream. Joyful Jennifer says, thank you for all being here in the chat comments. Oh, okay. Okay, she says she passed for now. It's private. Okay, we'll keep it private. Yeah, he's, you know, he's, but all that we need to know is that he's in the hospital and that, like, you know, our prayers go out to him and, you know, good wishes, and everybody send James Brink some good vibes. You know, he needs it probably right now. He's about to throw a conference and he's in the hospital. That's crazy. You know, that is insane. I feel bad. I really do. You know, let me see here. Zap says, hey, Rob, I'm in Canada. Do you want to try to call Zap? Just try to call in 1-573-877-7637. See if it works. I'm curious to see if it works from Canada. That would be cool. And Derek says the Insurrection Act might be used for Portland, Oregon. What's going on with that? Let me look it up, Derek. Let's see what's going on with Portland. Hold on, I'm looking this up, guys. Didn't you say Arkeem was Derek, didn't you say Arkeem made a video or something and he was like protesting or something like that? Oh, we have a call. Remind me of that, Derek, when we come back.
Yeah.
Hey, you're live on the air.
Cool.
Oh, hi. Who is this?
Hi. Yes, I'm just checking.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah. How are you? That's good.
Though it's not you're cool.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I think I knew who that was, guys. I don't want to tell him his name because, like, I know exactly who that was. Caller, I know who you are. I know, and I consider him a friend. He's been on this show. I'll tell you guys that. I don't know if he wants to tell you who he was, but I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, you know, I think that was Chris Latour, guys. You know, that was Chris Latour, the author of Terror at Montauk. You know, I'm pretty sure that was him. You know, anyway, let's see here. Who else was? I'll read some comments here. Oh, we were going to get back to this Insurrection Act being passed in Portland. Let's look this up and see what ChatGPT says about it. Yeah, ChatGPT, Derek says, yes, that's very much in the news right now. The idea that the Insurrection Act might be invoked Wait, I just hit a button. Fuck. Am I still here? Am I here, guys? I'm here. Okay, all right. Sorry. Well, I mean, sorry. I smoked weed, so. Okay, it says, yes, that's very much in the news right now. The idea that the Insurrection Act might be invoked and Portland being floated by Trump and some of its allies. Here's a breakdown of what's happening, the legal constraints, the risks, and the angles you might use on your show. It says, that's what it's saying to me. It says, Trump has publicly claimed that an insurrection is underway in Portland, though critics argue there's no evidence to justify that. He suggested invoking the Insurrection Act. Later versions deploy federal troops and the National Guard forces to override state local control. Oregon and the city of Portland have filed lawsuits to block federal deployments, arguing violation of constitutional limits and misuse of power. On October 4th, a federal judge entered a temporary restraining order blocking the deployment of National Guard to Portland, ruling that protests did not rise to the level of rebellion, justifying the use of forces under the Insurrection Act related statutes. The judge's opinion noted that administration's description of Portland as a war-ravaged city was untethered to facts, and that the incidents did not require military intervention beyond regular law enforcement. Meanwhile, Portland's police chief has pushed back against claims that the city is under siege in a war zone. But, I mean, I don't know. Did anybody see what Derek says? The National Guard was sent there now. So now the National Guard is there. What are they doing there? Like, what's going on? Why is it so bad there? What are they protesting? Like, and like, what, I mean, I don't know. I'm so out of the loop with this. Like, I really am. I don't watch the news at all. You know what I mean? I don't watch anything hardly. I don't. Karen says Donald Trump just deployed the Texas National Guard to Chicago. Is that verified, Karen? Trump and ICE from deporting illegal immigrants in Chicago, she said. Wow. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman. We'll keep it on the woo here. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman has a great comment. He says it's clones that are illegal aliens. They're coming up from the dumps, the deep underground military bases. That could be true. Karen says there's been 5 shootings in Chicago. Holy shit, Karen. I was just in Chicago too. Holy shit, Karen. That's crazy. It says Chicago weekend shootings. 5 kills, 30 wounded in South and West sides. Guys, I was just in Chicago. I was walking around that whole city. It was crazy. Like I was at the bus station there, and it was pretty gangster. I'll tell you that. Like right now, you don't want to. It's not like a. Anyway, it's. I mean, like I feel like I can hold my own anywhere though. I'm not worried about. But now it's crazy because people have guns. You know what I mean? That's what's scary. And like. Like it's not, people don't just throw down anymore and fight, if it was that way, it'd be a lot easier. But I mean, like, anyway, the Chicago bus station's pretty gangster. And then I went to the surrounding area and it was amazing. Like, I ate at like, Portillo's, which Jason probably knows about. Like I found a Portillo's and I ate there and it was pretty good. It was good food. I had like because I wanted to eat some good Chicago food while I was there. And I heard there's so much. I wanted to go to Little Italy. I heard Jason, I wanted to ask you about that. I heard Little Italy's like right near the bus station too, but I couldn't find it for some reason. You know what I mean? I was looking for it. Like, I don't know. Like, there's not much near the bus station, Jason. You probably know that, right? Like, you got to really walk like far, because I was on foot. So you really got to walk far from the bus. I had to walk like a couple miles to get to Portillo's, I think. So I mean, it was but it was interesting being in Chicago though. Like I said, I told Coley, I said I'd love to go back there. Like it seems really cool. Like it seems like there could be some really cool places in Chicago, But I mean, so we guys are back on this National Guard thing. Finsta says the National Guard. So. Or do we know if they're deployed to Portland? We don't know if they're deployed to Chicago. Jason would know if they were in Chicago because Jason's in Chicago. Jason, can you let us know? Do you know anything? And anybody can call in, guys. Call in 573-877-7637. And that's the main goal for tonight. We want to take call-ins. You know what I mean? You can tell about your alien experience. You can tell about whatever. You can tell me about your day. I don't care. You know what I mean? I like to keep it woo though. I like to keep it, paranormal and conspiracy and UFOs and stuff like that. But like, if you want to just tell me if you're having a bad day, I'm sure the audience wouldn't care, because everybody in this audience is really cool and they're like family, and everybody supports everybody here. That's what I love. You know what I mean? Whether they're watching on YouTube or they're watching on Rumble, everybody kind of gets along, and we very rarely get any bad actors in here. I don't want to jinx myself now, but we get a good crew of people. Yeah. Vince says they're after Antifa. Oh, so the National Guard's after Antifa. Yeah, that makes sense. Why is what is Antifa? Why do they have such a, Jennifer says she can karaoke. Do a little elevator music. Yeah. Let me see what other news topics we can go over. Zoom karaoke. No, okay. So we're going to have the Halloween party. So guys, that's going to be great. That's open to everybody in the community. Everybody can come. Whoever wants to come can come, and you'll get airtime for sure. You know what I mean? You'll for sure get airtime. Usually about 20 to 30 people show up. I invite a bunch of people on. I'll put, YouTube, Facebook, if you're on social media, you'll get an invitation, if you ask me for an invitation, you'll get an invitation, because one time I made a mistake and I put the number out to the public, and it was like, it didn't go good. Someone pranked the Zoom meeting. We had like 30 people in there, and some dude came in and started screaming obscenities, and somehow he took control of the whiteboard. It was actually kind of hilarious. You know what I mean? But like the things he was saying were pretty bad. But like somehow he got to control the whiteboard. I had to shut the stream down. Then I couldn't shut the stream down. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. It was. And so I'll never put a link out to the public again. Like that. I feel like if people want to be a part of it, they'll find it. That I really feel like they will truly find it. If they, So, if they want to be a part of it, they'll find a way to, yeah. Oh, thank you for the Rumble rant. Someone sent me a Rumble rant. Who was it? Let me see. Let me see here. Oh, Finsta. Thanks, dude. Holy shit, man. Thank you. That's awesome. He says he put this is hilarious. He gave me a $20 Rumble rant, guys. Thank you, Finsta. And he says, promise this will go to weed. I'll go to the weed store tomorrow. But yeah, that's hilarious. I need to go anyway. So yeah, thanks, man. But that's funny. I don't know what made me check that, but yeah, I was checking the Rumble. We have some people on Rumble. We have a good amount of people over there, only a little bit tonight, but I mean, they don't, yeah. So, let me see here. Riots in Pigeon Forest, Texas, Tennessee. Don't play. They shut down the whole city down. People wake up and absolutely nothing open today. Why are all these riots breaking out, Karen? What's going on with that? Like, so is this becoming a thing? Is this like Antifa all over the country? And like, how does Antifa have such a strong reach? That would have to be Soros backed, right? We hear rumors that it's Soros backed, but we can probably almost verify that that's definitely Soros backed. Someone with big money got their hands in Antifa, and they're twisting the, they're just trying to see how bad they can fuck people by like putting these retards into society. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't know, like in these situations where, yeah, Karen makes a good point. She says, fund both sides of this war. Yeah. Yeah. That's about right. That's what big countries do, to like in World War II, I heard, that like a lot of the sides were funded or, something like that by a certain country. I won't say who. But Yeah, that's interesting. We've been going about an hour and 35 minutes. I'd like to get a couple more calls, guys. I'm going to probably stay on a little bit over 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. I'll stream for tonight. I got to get some work done too. But if Finsta makes a good comment in the chat, he says they want America to burn. They're commies. They are. Like people that don't appreciate being here. Like we have the best country in the world. You know what I mean? We really do. Like like even though some people don't have the best lives and stuff like that, we still have the best country in the world. We have like we should use that to our advantage to help other people. From other all over the place. But we should help the people in this country first too, because there's a lot of homeless. There's homeless tents and populations popping up over every city. Man, it's horrible. And then I heard they were moving in illegals into housing projects, and people who lived here were sleeping on the street. I heard that about I can't remember where, but I heard that. That they were actually like they showed like one side of the street, and they said this is a housing development where all illegals were put into, and then they showed the other side of the street, and there was a homeless encampment, and there's a bunch of Americans sleeping out in the streets. So why I don't know, makes me mad. It's weird. It's yeah. We'll keep to the paranormal. We'll keep it on the paranormal. But you guys, we got to cover this stuff sometimes. We'll keep it to. Does anybody have a cool paranormal story they want to share, or some good conspiracy topic? You can call in at 573-877-7637 and tell us your story or whatever you want to talk about. And whatever you guys want to get into, we can get into. And maybe if we don't get another call, we'll just kind of call it soon. I don't know. Kurt says, thank God I live in the woods. I feel safer in there than I do if I had to in the streets. If I had to choose one. Yeah, it's definitely calmer in the woods, right? Kurt, that was one thing I noticed, guys, when I was traveling across, when I went from Pittsburgh to Iowa, is the theory that they say that they want to squeeze everybody into these cities is absolutely true, because when you see some of these other states, and I think when you go from Pittsburgh to Iowa, you go from Pennsylvania to Ohio to Illinois to Iowa. I think it's 4 states you cross through, and we went through Indianapolis, Indiana too. I think we went through Indiana too. So it's 5 states. You go from Ohio, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and then Iowa. I think that's the route that we went through. Yeah. Because I remember we stopped in Indianapolis, and it was I'm telling you guys, it was a really interesting trip. Just being on that Greyhound bus, it's a whole experience. If you've never experienced it, you definitely will get every vibe of life on there. And if you're like me, someone I like to travel. You know what I mean? I like to put myself in situations like that where it's a little bit risky, but I'm not worried. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. It's not, I joke around, but it's honestly not that bad. Some people are on there anyway. Jason says, bring lots of gummies next time. Yeah, I should have, you know what I mean? Honestly, I had some on the way there, and then on the way back, I had a hard time tracking some down. But then I ran into 2 dudes on the bus who smoked weed. And when we got a break, on one of the breaks, I smoked weed with them. And that was cool, Kurt says, I'd love to get on a Greyhound bus and just go and see and travel what I can see. You know what, Kurt? Honestly, I would recommend anybody do it. Honestly, it's honestly really interesting, and you really get to see a lot. When you fly, you just basically, you're seeing air, and it's great. That's an interesting thing itself. But when you're on the Greyhound bus, you're seeing everything. You know what I mean? A lot of it's highway, right? It's a lot of it's highway, but you do stop in different cities. We stopped in 5 different cities. I had a layover in Chicago. I got to walk around Chicago for 4 hours there one time and 4 hours back. I had a 4-hour layover each time. You know what I mean? So it was interesting for sure. Yeah. Jason says I wouldn't poop on the bus. No, that's hilarious. I wonder where that goes. You know what I mean? Like I had to pee on the bus. Like I didn't want to do it, but because I was worried it was going to smell in there, and I was like, oh God, I can't handle that smell. But believe it or not, it smelled. They had like an air freshener in there. It smelled decent in the bus bathroom. You know, but it's crazy. Like trying to pee, you're trying to pee, and you're going like this because the bus is moving, so you're like going back and forth. There's like piss flying everywhere, and I mean, I'm kind of kidding, but I'm kind of not, you know. So, it's definitely hilarious. Like, Karen says Trump just approved Tomahawk missiles for Ukraine. Russian nuclear EAM codes going now via New York Prep or YouTube. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's not awesome, but that's like interesting. Like, you know, like I don't know, man, what's wrong with this country? But we gotta you know, we gotta tighten it up as America, man. We really do. You know, like honestly. No, Finsta says no offense to young people, but they get mom and dad to pay their bills. Maybe they do, you know. In this day and age, it seems like it, right? You know. Spider Bite says Ukraine had a lot of nefarious things going on. They're nasty. Yeah. I heard they're like Nazis. I heard they're like Nazis or something. Spiritualist senses says holding onto the walls where you're trying to pee. That's basically what it was, you know. That's so funny. It was hilarious. Like it was one time. Oh, good. One time when I was pissing on the bus bathroom, the door swung open too. So like I forgot to close the door the whole way, and the door swung open, and like the bus is flying around everywhere. It's like, you know, it was hilarious. SA, can you call Rob? Yeah, someone could call. Oh, someone's calling. Oh, hold on. Let me see here. We'll get this call. Hello, you're live on the air.
Hello.
Hey, who's this?
Hi, my name's Tyler Kalil. I'm the host of Journey to Truth Podcast.
No way. That's dude's like he's been on my show many times, guys. This is Tyler Koala from the Journey to Truth Podcast. Dude, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, man? I just scrolling through YouTube and I saw that you were live, and I was like, "What the hell?" I'll call in.
Yeah. Dude, congratulations! You guys got your YouTube back. You know, that's awesome.
Yeah, you know what? That was it was a big step, a big moment, because whenever they pulled that out from under us years ago, it kind of it just sucks the wind out of your sails, as you know. So it felt like kind of getting a soul fragment back. It's nice to have that back, and we're, you know, slowly rebuilding again. But we're just counting our blessings, and we're very grateful for it. And we weren't expecting it, but hey, at least, you know, somebody's on our side. I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, I'd like to have you guys back on sometime. You know, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be cool to do something. What are you guys working on nowadays, or what do you been having on recently?
So yeah, we've been. Well, Aaron was in Japan for a minute, so I was doing some in-person interviews out here at Bradshaw Ranch in Sedona, which is, and we'll talk about paranormal activity. And then I met up with Zaysan. He's an ET experiencer, and I interviewed him in person, and he's got an incredible testimony as well. But we're also in the process of working on our Secret Space Program documentary, which is coming along. We're like about 75% of the way through the editing and stuff, and we're going to have a private screening pre-release here in Sedona in December, and before we're going to release it on Amazon Prime and Apple TV and all that stuff. So we got some big stuff in the works in our Hawaii conference in April, but lots going on in the background. But I really came in to tell a paranormal story. I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, I just want to say, I just got to give you props on one more thing real quick, guys. When the guys from Journey to Truth do a documentary, they go balls to the wall. They're like really in-depth information. I just wanted to give you props on that. But yeah, sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. This one's been years in the making. We've done a lot of traveling and filming, and I mean, just an insane amount of footage. Too much, actually, for one film. But you know, you got to do something like the Secret Space Program. You got to do it right. And, there's plenty of UFO documentaries out there, and I've seen a lot of them, and no one's covering the secret space program like they should, respectfully should. So
Yeah.
we just thought we'd throw our hats in the ring and see what happens. But stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for some announcements coming up in a month or so for more details. But yeah, so I didn't catch the beginning of your show. So you guys are just telling like paranormal experiences?
Yeah, you can talk about anything you want, like targeting, paranormal, UFOs, anything. It's just kind of open.
Right. Okay. Well, I was just thinking of like whenever I started waking up, I guess, after my mother passed away in 2011, I had a lot of paranormal activity, and it got to the point where it turned into poltergeist activity, like shit moving in my house and just, crazy stuff. And I was being attacked in my sleep by the shadow people and all that stuff.
Holy shit, man. I never knew that.
Oh, really? Yeah. So, it was pretty intense, and I suffered in silence for a while, but then I finally opened up to my dad, and, that's basically what I learned is, if you need help with something in life, you got to ask for help. Otherwise, it's just going to keep continuing to happen. So I asked for help, and the universe provided. So that got me out of that. But I was experiencing a lot of wild stuff. And one of the craziest things that happened to me, two of them. First, I would wake up and like the kitchen chair would be in the spare bedroom, or a picture that was on my refrigerator would be on my basement steps. Like it was just like weird stuff was being moved around the house. And this was back, I was single at the time, and I was kind of just started dating this girl, and we were out drinking. This was, I don't remember what year it was. And we were out drinking and came back to my house, and we were laying in bed. You know how it is, about to pass out drunk, and she's waking me up. She's like, "Hey, somebody's walking around in your house." And I was like, "That's the dogs." And, she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm positive. It's the dogs." She's like, "That doesn't sound like dogs." And then I heard footsteps, and I'm like almost internally panicking. I'm like, "Oh shit, that's not the dogs. Those are footsteps." And I jump up. And I'm listening, and I'm like, "Oh my God, somebody's walking around in my house." Wow. And that's a freaky feeling, man, whenever you're supposed to be home alone and you clearly hear footsteps. And I had this Rambo knife that I slept next to back then, and I grabbed that knife, and we're in the basement of my house, by the way, and we were hearing these footsteps upstairs. So she's like clinging onto my arm, and I'm walking like to the basement door, so I can like get a better listen, and I can hear somebody talking. I'm like, holy shit! And this is starting to get real. I'm like, I'm not hearing things. She's hearing it, but it sounded like one end of a phone call. Like it's not, you can only hear like one person talking, but I couldn't make out what he was saying, but I could hear the voice. So I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, well, it's scaring me, so why don't I try and scare it? So I freaking ran up the basement stairs, like with this knife in my hand, just screaming at the top of my lungs like an idiot.
Holy shit!
Hoping that I would scare the hell out of whoever was in my house, like freak them out to the point where it would almost paralyze them. I didn't know what I was going to do next, but my plan was to like just catch them off guard. Well, I did that, and I didn't see anybody upstairs, and I walked through the whole house. Absolutely nothing. And she was following me around. I went outside. I did a perimeter check. Virtually nothing. And I couldn't believe it because I was like hearing somebody in the house. So we go back to bed and go back to sleep. Or I go to close my eyes, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going to sleep." And she's like, "How can you sleep after that?" And I said, "I don't know. I'm used to it. Shit happens in this house all the time." She's like, "Well, I'm fucking not." And so it was kind of funny. But
that's hilarious.
What happened after that was kind of fucked up. And I mean, maybe the next weekend, and this is one of the reasons I quit drinking. I I went to a wedding reception, and she was actually out of town, and she was like in Phoenix or somewhere. I forget where she was. And I went to a wedding reception for my cousin, and I got so drunk, and I drove home like an idiot. But I made it home. But it's one of those things where you don't even remember or know how you got home.
Oh,
like,
God, I remember those nights. Yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't good. But what happened was I came home and I just like crashed on the couch as soon as I walked in the door. I didn't pass out immediately, but I was on the phone with my girlfriend, and we were just talking. And apparently I fell asleep while I was talking to her on the phone. And that's all I remember. But
wow.
I woke up on the couch the next morning, and my phone was laying there, and I had like a million text messages and missed calls from her. And I'm like, what the heck? She's like, oh my God, call me immediately. Call me as soon as you wake up. Are you okay? Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what is going on? So I call her back, and she's like, thank God. And she's like, I seriously thought you were dead. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Why? And she was like, we were on the phone last night, and you just stopped talking. And I was like, yeah, I fell asleep. I passed out. I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, but when you stopped responding, she said, I started hearing chanting in your living room.
What?
And I was like, what do you mean? She said there was like demonic voices. And
holy
like,
shit.
She said it sounded like somebody was performing a ritual in your living room.
What?
And she said there was like, it started off as like one voice, and it got like more and more voices to the point where it was sounding like a whole group of people were in my living room performing a satanic ritual.
Dude, I'm sorry. That's fucking crazy. Said. That's insane. Holy shit. You know what I mean? That's insane.
I know. So she said she was screaming at the top of her lungs on the phone for me to wake up. Like, she was screaming. And she said it just kept getting louder, and it kept going on. And it sounded like people were just moving around my house, and like this whole thing was happening. And I'm totally oblivious to it, right? And like she said she just stayed on the phone and started, because she was like an energy healer back then, even really before I was into all this stuff. And she was like just doing whatever she could to send me protection and light the entire time she was listening to it. And she said she was mortified. Like, she just thought like she didn't know what was happening.
She might have been she might have saved you. You know, I mean, like, you never know what could have happened. Maybe if she wasn't on the phone, like, it could have. Maybe she was like a guardian angel that night or something. You know, because who knows what that was, right?
Right, and I believe that. So, the funniest thing was that I was completely oblivious to it. I woke up and was none the wiser. Had she not told me about that, I would have just thought I passed out drunk like any normal night. Then I start thinking about it. I'm like, well, how many other times has something like that happened whenever I blacked out that I just don't know about because no one was there to witness it?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, man, I need to stop drinking.
Like,
that's not cool. Like, because I was getting attacked a lot and stuff in my sleep and the sleep paralysis and stuff. And that's when I kind of connected the dots that I was bringing on myself with the alcohol. But that was one of the wildest things that I don't even remember. But the way she told the story was so, like, she was shaking and she was telling me it was real, you know? And it's just something that I still to this day don't really know what happened, but I wonder.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing, though, honestly. And then what happened? Did you just move from that house, or was that your like where your family lived, or was that like like, you know what I mean? Like did you grow up there, or was it like?
No, I didn't grow up there. I moved into that house in 2012, and I had some roommates for a while, but at this point, I was just living by myself. So I was in this whole house by myself, and like I said, there was all kinds of weird stuff that always happened, but that was the one, like, that one freaked me out. Even though I wasn't conscious for it, you know, I know she wasn't making up the story. You know, she heard something, so that was one of the craziest things for real.
Wow. Jason in the audience, he's one of my moderators. You've probably seen him in your chat before too. Jason H. He wanted me to ask you about your Sasquatch encounters at James Gilliland's East City Ranch.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So the first time I ever went out there was 2019, and the very first thing that happened to me was kind of a Sasquatch experience. I woke up in the morning. I was sleeping in a tent. I was there for a conference, and we were tent camping. And I was with the girl I was seeing at the time, and our tent was kind of off into the woods, you know. And I woke up out of a dead sleep to like this blood-curdling vocalization. I mean, it was so loud. I don't know how to describe it besides a massive Sasquatch vocalization, like roar. And it woke me up out of my sleep, and like every hair in my body stood up, because it didn't just wake me up. I was awake, and it was like, it felt like it lasted 30 seconds long. Wow. And it freaked me out. I'm like, what the hell was that? And my girlfriend was sleeping, and no one else heard it. Like, apparently I was the only one somehow that heard it. And I thought maybe I was just dreaming or something and kind of going nuts. So that was that morning. That day, I was walking down the trail, and a pebble came out of the tree line and hit me in the thigh. And I thought there was this guy who just walked past me. I thought that he like was messing with me and tossed a rock at me, a pebble, but then it like dawned on me, like, no, he's behind me. It couldn't have hit me in my thigh. And like no one was around. And so somehow a rock came like out of the tree line and hit me in the thigh, just like a little pebble, like it wasn't a hard throw. And that was weird. And so that night we're going to bed, and it's about 1 a.m, and we're about falling asleep, and we hear this loud crack on the tree outside of our tent, like a tree knock. Sounded like somebody hit it with a baseball bat. I mean, it literally, we both sat up in the tent, like, and looked at each other, like, what the fuck was that? And then we heard 3 loud footsteps, like you could literally hear 3 footsteps, and then a grunt, like and then it stops. There was nothing. So I unzipped the tent, and I'm looking for footsteps and stuff. It's so dry up in Washington State in the summer. There's like no rain. There's burn bans and all that stuff. So there's really no ground to leave a deep footprint. I didn't notice any footprints, but there was a massive branch laying next to the tree outside the tent that wasn't there when we went to sleep. And I still have that branch. I kept it.
That's cool.
Because that was interesting, but it kept escalating from there.
That's insane.
So I'll pause there if you want to ask any questions.
Well, I wanted to ask you too. Did you see a lot of craft when you went to East City? Because it seems like everybody that goes there sees craft. Like,
yeah. I mean, more than you can count. I mean, it's honestly unbelievable, and I didn't believe it when I first heard it either. I was like, I need to go see this for myself, and it was wild, man. There was a lot of stuff in the sky, and not just in the sky. Like, I had all the Sasquatch activity. People see orbs. I mean, there's been, you name it, it's been sighted out there, and it's pretty wild. So, I mean, I'm here to say, like, there's definitely something going on up at that ranch, without a doubt.
Yeah, I got to get there. I got to get there for real. Like, I got to check that out. That's insane. Like, yeah. Hell yeah! Like, and then what ended up happening with the Bigfoot stuff? Did it progress a little bit, like you said, or?
Yeah, so that was just that trip, and then I've been back to East City many times since then. Well, the next time I came back, I was kind of like just almost expecting some sort of Sasquatch activity, you know, and nothing happened for the first night or two, and it was the following summer for another conference, and I was there with Aaron and a bunch of other people. And the conference was going on, the presenter was inside, and I was standing in the doorway to the hall, the conference hall, like leaning against the door jamb, and Aaron was standing next to me. And I felt somebody like tap my shoulder really hard, like a tap on my shoulder. And I turned, and I thought it was Aaron. And I was like, did you just tap my shoulder? And he said, no. Like, I mean, it was big. It felt like somebody took a freaking bratwurst and slammed it on my shoulder or something. And that's how it felt. And Aaron, I looked, and Aaron obviously was watching the presenter and wasn't him, but I still asked him because he was the only person around. I was like, "Did you just tap my shoulder?" And he said, "No." And I was like, "Dude, something just like hit me in the shoulder. I'm pretty positive."
Wow.
And I thought, okay, well, maybe, maybe I'm whatever, feeling things. And so I go back to watching the presenter, and then this thing pokes, like something literally takes their finger and pokes me in the neck to the point where it almost moves my head.
Wow.
And then this time I look, and Aaron's, it's definitely not Aaron, because he's like even further away from me now. And I'm like, what the fuck? And James has told stories, like people, like the Sasquatch will mess with people out there that like they'll tug on the girl's hair, or they'll poke you, or they'll like do things just to kind of play with you, like in a playful manner. And this thing poked me in the neck, and I'm like, what the heck? This is wild, you know? So that night we go out. I stay out on the Skywatch field. Everybody went to bed. I'm just up as late as I can. I'm like, I want to have an experience. I wasn't tired. And it's coming up on 3 a.m. And my friend Ben Chastain, you may know Ben Chastain.
Yeah, I met him. I met him at the Full Disclosure Now conference this year and then last year. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is. So Ben was still awake with his friend Rachel at the time, and he texted me, and he saw that I wasn't in my tent. So he was like, "Hey, where you at? You still awake?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm out here by the Skywatch field. Come out. You should come out." And he came out, and we go to the fence line where James says all the Sasquatch usually show up. There's like this vortex area, and he said that's kind of where like people have seen him go in and out of the portals or whatever there. And we were getting ready to cross this fence, and Ben's like, no, let's ask for permission and just like set an intention. Let's just not come like stomping into their front door. Let's get permission to come back here. So we did. We asked for a sign, and as soon as we asked, like this massive like light shows up in the sky like a ship, and it was like we all looked at each other and we're like, well, that's confirmation for me,
Holy shit.
So we go, we climb this fence, and we're walking into this area, and the same thing happens. Something's throwing stuff at us from the tree line twice, 2 separate occasions. It's so dark out there, you can't really see like where it's coming from or anything really, unless you have your light on. But something like was being thrown at us. Maybe they were rocks, whatever it was, but they were being thrown our direction. And we go out into this the field past the tree line where there's this like tall grass, and I'm standing there, and Ben just happens to flip on his camera, and he's got like night vision going or some light on his camera. And he just happened to start filming for whatever random reason. And right around that time, I literally felt a gigantic hand, like somebody puts their entire hand on my back and like gives me a nudge. And it freaked me out because nobody should have been behind me. Ben and Rachel were in front of me. And I freaking turn around, and Rachel screams, and Ben's like, dude, I think I just got that on film. And he did. I have the footage.
Wow.
So we watched the footage back. Because I was like, dude, something just touched my back. Like I'm not imagining things. There was a 5-fingered hand, like big, on my back. And that's exactly what it felt like. And we watched the video back, and right as something touched me, you could see an orb fly right past my back in the film, like a big orb, right precisely where I felt the hand. But what was even crazier about the footage was that we caught something on film that we didn't hear in person. It wasn't audible to us in person. But when we were reviewing the footage, we're all standing completely still. You can literally hear something walking up to us, crunching in the grass. 3 big footsteps. You hear crunch, crunch, crunch. And then that's whenever I turn around and that like orb flies past my back. But we couldn't hear the footsteps in real time, but the film picked up the audio. So there's audio of literally something walking up to us, but we didn't see it or hear it. The only thing I did was feel the hand on my back. And then after that, we saw a red orb in the tree that was like so red, we thought it was like it had to be like a flashlight or something. Like, what the heck is that? But we saw this red orb, and then it was followed by this like this beautiful smell, like one of the most beautiful smells. Like, none of us could identify it, where it was coming from, and we were like getting on our hands and knees, but smelling the grass and the ground and the trees. Like, what is that smell? It was just like it had no source, but we were smelling this smell that we couldn't even compare it to anything. Like, it smelled like a really beautiful flower, but it finally just went away. And apparently, what the Sasquatch do, like, if they like you, they can put off a pleasant scent to let you know that, like, they're welcoming you. But if they don't like you, they put off that stinky, musky smell that you hear about, and that's why they call them skunk apes and stuff. So we think we were getting like a scent from them, basically just telling us that we were welcome back there. And that was I think that was it for my experiences at East Eddy with the Sasquatch.
Dude, that is so cool, man. Like, that is a really awesome. That's insane. Like, that's like, man, like, I got to go to East Eddy to experience it. Like, it's like, it sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. Like, did you guys ever have like experiences when you were at your conference? Because I know you guys go to the Sacred Mound site in Illinois, right? Every year for your conference. Is that what it is? And did you guys ever have anything weird happen at the conference or at the mound site or anything?
So yeah, that's in Grafton, Illinois, is where we hold the event, and that is a hot spot as well. Like, we've seen craft out there, and there's definitely Sasquatch activity out there, and every year everybody has some kind of story. But my favorite thing was actually James Rink and Jessica Jones and a handful of people went out like on a hunt, an investigation one night, and they got some real audio, dude. Like you usually don't expect people are gonna like get some good audio, and James somehow picked up some wild sounds and some audio from whenever him and Jessica Jones were out there, and he did a video on his YouTube channel. This was a couple of years ago by now. But, I mean, there's some real activity out there. You know, people have had, like, somebody I know, she woke up and there was, like, this random fruit laying on her floor and the end of her bed. I forgot what it was called, but it's not even local to the area. It was, like, somebody just set it right there on the floor. She doesn't know how it got there. I had a crystal go missing out of my hotel room, and I thought that it was, like, I thought somebody was messing with me. I thought I had misplaced it, and then I went out to my car, and it was sitting on the seat in my car. Like, they do, like, this weird shit like that happens out there. So, I mean, I think it's just with a veil thin in some of these locations, I almost think they like whenever people go there in these groups and that they're trying to communicate. I think they like when people do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Yeah. By the way, did you hear? I don't know if you heard. I'm not sure if you were watching. What at one point, Karen McDonald came in the chat and she said James Brink's in the hospital and he's supposed to be having that conference in like 2 days. You know, or I think someone said the Super Soldier Conference starts Wednesday. But
right.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I didn't. I did not hear that. And yeah, that's like right around the corner.
Yeah, she didn't say why, but she said it was private, but like I guess he's in the hot. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, right? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to send some prayers for him, man, because I mean he's got an event to host. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, I like James a lot. Well, I was going to say this was awesome, Tyler. This was a real treat. I never expected you to call in. This was amazing. Like, did you want to leave the audience with anything before we go to the next caller? And thanks, man. I really enjoyed this. Like,
yeah, of course, man. It was fun. I'm glad I saw that you were live, and it just, I don't know, I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll call in. And I think it's cool that you do call-in shows, by the way, too. And you're giving me some ideas. I think I try that.
I want to keep doing it, man. You know, I definitely want to keep doing this. You know, like I like the call-ins because I'll just tell you this as a podcaster. I don't know if you heard this part too. I was trying to say, like, when you get people call in, it's like more like it's more of like a raw. I don't know what it is. Like someone's beeping and I got to decline it. But like what's weird, like when you get like someone calls in, it's like a raw, more like a raw, like I could do all these interviews, right? But like it's different. Like when you get I don't know, there's something weird about it. Like it's like I don't know.
I feel it. It's real. It's real. It's unscripted. It just has that old school like Art Bell Coast to Coast feel. You got these people calling in, and it allows people to be more comfortable too, because they're just sitting on their couch on the phone instead of in front of a camera. So
yeah,
I think it's pretty cool. But thanks for the opportunity to come on, man. I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad you're still out there fighting for the truth, and I'm just whatever, man. Keep it up and have a good night.
Yeah, and I consider you a good friend, man. Do you want to promote anything? You might as well promote whatever you'd like, whatever, and your Rumble, YouTube, whatever.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to follow us on our original YouTube channel, then since we got it back, just search Journey to Truth on YouTube. We have 2 of them now. There's a main one, and then Journey to Truth 2.0, the backup. So. Or if you want to follow us on Rumble, and if you're interested in coming to our conferences, the next one is in Hawaii, which I'm really excited about, in April 20th of next year on the Big Island. We're going to be going in the ocean with some dolphins and whales and doing some sacred sites and all kinds of stuff. So it's like a vacation conference. It's not like strictly just sitting there getting information. We're going to, boots on the ground approach and kind of do some exploring. So if anyone's interested, they can go to journeytotruth.online and buy their ticket.
Yeah. Hawaii sounds amazing. Like I gotta try to come to that. Like I gotta. That sounds like amazing. Like that sounds like they're really dope. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii too. Like that. That sounds like what made you real quick? Like what
cosmic waves. And it was a disclosure conference where honestly, it was one of the most life-changing. And I've been waiting for years and I was like, well, I guess I'll just do it, so I feel confident that I could pull one off on the island. And I still had connections, so I, dug up those numbers and made some calls and I got place booked and just made it happen. So it's not necessarily the cheapest conference, but it's as affordable as we could do it. This is one of these things where we're just hopefully trying to break even. We're just doing this for anybody that wants to come and have a vacation in Hawaii with their soul family, and swim with some dolphins and whales and go to sacred sites, Volcano National Park, all that stuff. So.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, and I'll email you. I'd like to have you and Aaron back on if you want, or if you want to come on alone or with Aaron, whatever you want to do, that'd be great,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's set it up, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, and and thanks, Aaron. And that was guys. That was amazing. Tyler Koala from Journey to Truth podcast. I consider those guys good friends. Like like what's so cool about the Journey to Truth podcast, and you guys should all go follow them. Follow Journey to Truth on YouTube and follow them on Rumble. Like I'll tell you how cool they are. Like and like how good of a person Tyler is. So like. Two really big things that I can point out about Tyler, like that he helped me like before. And he knows me just from podcasting, like we don't know each other, like, we've never met or anything. But like, I remember one time when YouTube like shut down my channel, he contacted me right away and he had me on Journey to Truth to help promote myself. And it got me a decent amount of Rumble subscribers. So I'm very thankful to those guys for that, And then also one time when I was asking for donations on Facebook, Tyler shared the post and I think it ended up getting me some donations. So like those guys are just good people, man. They're just like, they want the truth and they want the best for the community. You know what I mean? So, yeah, big shout out to the guys from Journey to Truth. Like, and yeah, guys, go subscribe there again on Journey to Truth on Rumble and then the 2 on YouTube. And yeah, that was amazing. What a surprise, man. What a surprise. Like that's what I love about these call-ins, man. Like we can get anybody can call in, you know what I mean? You never know who you're going to get, and those were amazing stories. Tonight we had a really good night of call-ins, I would say. You know what I mean? We had like 5 people call in, and we got some really good calls tonight, from Selena to Joyful Jennifer to Tyler from Journey to Truth to who else called? I can't remember who else called. I mean, my mind. I smoked weed, so I'm like, But anyway, I've been going 2 hours and 15 minutes. I can keep going, guys. If you want me to take one more call, I can take one more call. We'll wait a little bit and we'll see if we get one more call. You know what I mean? But it is midnight. It's past midnight here in the we're getting a call right now. We'll take this. We'll take this last call for the night. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi. Who is this?
My name is Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I've been watching your show for almost a year.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Do you like it?
Yeah, a lot. I especially like. I know you mentioned this a lot, that your community and how positive everyone is, and how hopeful everyone is, and like how this is essentially you're really nice to everybody. So I feel like anyone could say anything, and you're not judgmental, and you don't like tear people down, and people watching the show are really supportive of everyone, and it's just really nice to see.
Yeah.
Listen to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what's your story, Jennifer? Are you an experiencer?
Well, I don't know, like, if this counts, but, like, in 2006, I was sitting on a lawn with a friend, and we were looking up at the sky, and a cloud came over to us, and it didn't look like a real cloud. It was like a holographic cloud. So I don't know if that counts. And this other thing happened when I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8. I was playing with a claw machine, and I didn't expect to win anything. And I pulled out, well, like in the claw drop, the claw pulled out this ET doll, but it was impossible the way the arm had wrapped itself around the claw like 3 times to hold on. Like, there's no way that the claw goes in and it's like arm wraps around. And I like to listen to experiencer interviews as I fall asleep sometimes. I've had some interesting dreams, but at the same time, I don't know, if I could say that I was a true experiencer. So, I mean, I'm very fascinated by unusual things, I guess. I'm from New York, so everything happens in New York, right? Like, everything's all pat.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Strange things have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's been some even alien abductions in New York. There's been. Did you ever hear that case about the woman who got abducted out of the 12-story window? Bud Hopkins wrote about it. It was called the Winda Corteil case. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I am embarrassed to say I don't know about that.
Oh, it's okay. No, I mean it's not well known, but I mean, it was an alien abduction case from the 90s, and it was Bud Hopkins wrote about it, and supposedly a woman got abducted by these gray aliens, and they were levitating her out of a 12-story window, and it goes deeper. It goes into foreign diplomats were watching her, and then they were being abducted, and it's like this whole, it's this whole thing. It's called Witness. The book's called Witness by Bud Hopkins. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking for a piece of paper to write that down.
Yeah.
Witness,
yeah, by Bud Hopkins. It's like one of those old school Whitley Strieber communion type books. It's like a old school alien abduction book. Yeah.
I gotta look that up. Thank you.
So anyway, anything else weird ever happened to you? Do you ever have any paranormal experiences or anything like that?
Yeah. So I saw a ghost and I think my grandma saw it too. I was looking out the window of my apartment, and there was a woman who was in the building across this little alley from me, and it looked like a woman, but she had her hands up in the air, and she was spinning in a circle, but then she was also spinning in a circle around the room while she was spinning in a circle. And she was going way faster than a human could move, and she was just going in circles and going in circles and going in circles and going in circles and going in circles, and it was hypnotic. And I said to my grandma, like, "Are you seeing this?" And she said, "Don't make eye contact with it." So I stopped looking at it. And another time I was with a couple of friends, and we were going to watch some cartoons I had taped on a VHS set, and there was static on the screen, and before the show started, there was like a monk, like bowing, like repeatedly, like just like a monk.
That's so weird.
Yeah, like the friends were like, "Do you see it?" I was like, "Yeah, do you see it?" They were like, "Yeah, like that's weird. There's definitely something in your television."
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that there's like stuff, and I talk to other people, and I love hearing stories about like, I don't know, like in retrospect, stuff that seems spooky at the time is definitely like the coolest stuff that ever happened in like, at least like in my life. It's like, well, aside from, meeting special people in your life, like I don't want to, but like it seems scary at the time, but afterwards you're like, whoa, that was weird and interesting, kind of cool. There's been some other stuff too, but like I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to sound like crazy or anything.
No, you're around the right crowd for that, because everybody trust me, everybody in the audience will believe you, and they don't judge people either. They're everybody's really good in the audience, and like I said, we get a good crowd that comes over here. You know what I mean? So I'm really honored by that. We have like such a good audience. We barely get any hecklers or anything like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I really like. I like watching the videos, especially where people are sharing these experiences that, not everyone has to agree they see the exact same thing, but it's so nice that people have a space where they can share these things. And it's almost like sitting around a campfire and telling ghost stories, and you can do that from anywhere. And I like that you talk to everybody from all walks of life. And I don't know, I saw, one of the videos you had, I think it was with Laura, and she was showing her spirits, and she had dragons and stuff. And there was another lady you had on with fairies. I think the first show I saw with you was I can't remember his name now, but he and his wife have a show where they I don't know, they talk a lot about nature spirits.
Oh yeah, nature.
So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they're just different names for different energies, or anything could be. I like the positive aspects. I don't like too much negative aspects of things, although sometimes that does kind of exist, and that's kind of why I called, because this is embarrassing. But I tried to email you, and I don't know if I have the right email address. Is your email address typicalskeptic1@gmail.com?
Yeah, it's typical skeptic, then the number one, the numeral one, and then at gmail.com. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did email you.
Well, the problem is I've been really late. I've been having some rough days. I haven't been checking my email at all. I've missed a lot of emails. I've been really bad about answering. It's not good. I get depressed sometimes, but I don't, I don't know. I gotta get on that. I gotta do direct messages too. I haven't answered any direct I don't know. Sometimes I get in a funk, and I don't know. I don't know what I mean.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching your show for a while, so I understand you've been going through a lot, and you're also tackling a lot of stuff, and taking on a lot of stuff. I think that you're feeling better in terms of, I hope that you're feeling better in terms of some of the stuff that you seem that keeps you bothering you. I don't know, a while ago, 6 months ago or so, you had felt like there was something like on the back, and now I hope that's better.
No, yeah, I don't even feel it anymore. And like I said, it's amazing.
Right.
Like it's not just that it's not that I don't feel it, but also now I'm able to manipulate energy. So when something does come on me, I can get rid of it. And also I know how to like send energy too. Like I can send energy to people. And like I said, I'm starting to feel the energy in my hands, and like it's a whole other world that like opened up of abilities that like I'm starting to open myself up to, you know. And I think it just happened from, I don't know. I mean, like it could have been that stuff that kind of opened it up. Maybe, you know, like, or maybe that was like part of like my journey into learning how to do this stuff or whatever. But like, you know, once you start learning this stuff, it's like a whole other world opens up, you know. I was saying to Selena earlier, it's like, it's really interesting what, you know, what you can do. You can, you know, yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating, you know?
Yeah, that's excellent that you seem to be like on an upward trend. Like things seem to be cyclical sometimes. Like if you feel in a funk, you might stay in one, but it seems like you're progressing out of it, and now you're developing skills, and now you're coming out of it, and things are going to get better.
I hope so. You know, I hope so.
I feel like I'm talking like psychic. She's very positive.
Oh yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, well, this was awesome. Thank you so much for calling in. And do you want to leave the audience?
Can I ask you a really quick question?
Yeah, sure.
The reason why I called. Did you hear anything about? Okay, I wanted to ask you if you've seen this video on Rumble, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's that Charlie Kirk, his assassination was a hoax.
Oh, a lot of people were saying that.
The full
I had Carrie Cassidy on my show. I don't know if you saw. Well, no, it's on Rumble. Like if you go on my Rumble, I had Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot on, and this was a recent video, and she was talking about that as well. You know, like I didn't put it on YouTube because, you know, I also
they take a lot of stuff down.
Yeah, I had Gareth Ike on today, David Ike's son. That's on my Rumble too. You know, like yeah, if you go to rumble.com/Typical Skeptic Podcast, you guys can watch the videos that I don't put on YouTube because it's worth it. You know, like you'll get to see an interview with Carrie Cassidy, Gareth Ike, you know, two big names in the community, you know. But again, I can't put them on YouTube because YouTube censors me. They always come after me too. You know what I mean? Like I can't get out of line really. Like it's like they're always watching me or something, you know. It's really annoying. Because I see some people get away with the craziest shit, you know, and I'm not even doing anything that bad. You know, and it's not bad in my eyes at all. Like, but like in their eyes, I guess it's, you know, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if there's like a conspiracy around that too. Like, I started thinking about like Eyes Wide Shut, and do you think that Kubrick was like just sick and just before his movie was released and they changed 45 minutes? And I think it's kind of connected, like the Kubrick and Epstein and now this Kirk thing. I feel like
you know, there definitely is
been for decades, not centuries.
There's definitely like SRA. There's like SRA symbolism in Eyes Wide Shut for sure. You know, it's like there's like satanic. You know, that's definitely like, you know.
Yeah.
It's weird. You know. So what did Kubrick know? I know. Yeah, it's almost like he was like told things. You know, like, or how did he know? You know, that's really strange. I never thought about that. You know.
Well, I heard that what probably got cut out, and also like other people have said like that you can see Epstein and Lorraine in it, as well as Donald Trump. There's a mask that looks like Donald Trump, and in that like notorious scene, there were children in tentacles, and they cut that stuff up. I actually like walked away. That was like on the screen when I watched it again recently. So I didn't catch that if it was, but at the very end, and I had to look up the meaning of it. Like, what happened at the end? Like, the parents give their children, like that child, the little girl, to the cult. Like, in the toy store, there are these boxes, like the Christmas presents are all like red boxes with circles with stars inside them. And I mean, I don't think, I don't know, right? Like, I don't know what actually happened, but I also heard that he was, maybe his life ended like 666 days before 2001, like before that year started. So I just think that there's a lot of stuff going on that only, like, I don't know if it's because I'm just focusing on this stuff. So, you know, if you're the hammer, everything looks like a nail. Like, you just look at things a certain way. I don't know if I'm just, like, delulu, but I just, like, I didn't know, like, I can't talk to regular people about this. So thank you for letting me talk and, like, not making me feel like, you know, a tinfoil. Like,
No, that's okay. We're happy. You know,
like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, you know, like that's like a badge of honor here. You know what I mean? Yeah, the tinfoil hat. You know, it's like, you know, we welcome all the tinfoil hat people. So, you know, thank you. Like, thank you for watching and yeah, and if you'd like to leave the audience with anything, or if you want to promote anything or anything like that, just you know, whatever you'd like to say.
Yeah, not promoting anything. Just wanted to say that to somebody and appreciate you guys and the community and your show. Thank you.
All right. Well, and thank you so much. And yeah, and we'll be talking to you soon. And yeah, okay, guys. So we've been going 2.5 hours. Okay. So do you guys want me to keep going, or should we take one more call, or should we go around 2.5 hours we've been going? I mean, I can keep going, you know, like I'd like to go smoke, but I'm not, you know, let me see here. And guys, you can, this is a great way to take a break and support the podcast and do ad reads. So you guys, if you want to support the podcast, I'll put links in the links are in the description, you know, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, buy me a coffee. You know, people really like buy me a coffee because it's not one of the big, you know, things. You know, if you support our work and you like our work, buy us a coffee or something, and you know, and tell me you appreciate it. And but I mean, just you guys watching helps too. So, you know, I realize a lot of it's tough for a lot of people right now. So yeah. But then also the affiliates. If you go on my Rumble channel and you look at all the affiliates, we have some good ones like Happy Hippo, Cosmic Nootropic, MN Nice Botanicals. You know, use the affiliates, guys. That's what they're there for. And then the affiliates are also behind my Linktree address, which is in the description, which I can't put on YouTube, but I can share the Linktree with you, and you guys can use the affiliates. Definitely use the affiliates. There's good discounts there. Well, yeah, I guess we'll wait for one more call. We'll see. Let me see. Oh, Spiritual Ascension said she just tried to call. It's telling me it's not available from the service, and she put a 1 in front. I'll have to look into it. Where are you from, Spiritual Ascension? Like, yeah, like why can't you call me? See if she can call. Where are you? Let me see here. I'm looking at the website now to see if it's oh, wait, it says calling URL is disabled. Like, I wonder if I do. We have an anonymous caller here. Let's take one more call. Hello, you're live on the air.
Hello?
Hi, you're live on the air. Hello, you're live on the air. I don't know what happened. That person was anonymous, and they didn't say anything, guys. So we'll see if they call back. I don't know if they were having like phone problems or what, but yeah. If somebody wants to be the last caller for the night, 573-877-7637. Oh, Spiritual Ascension's trying to call in. Oh, if that was you, Spiritual Ascension, I tried saying hello. Oh, here we go. She's trying to call again. Let's see if this works. Hello, you're live on the air.
Hi, Rob. It's
Hi.
Spiritual Ascension.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm from Australia.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. That is really cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, hi. I had a few requests in the chat to call in, so I thought I would.
Yeah. How did you get through? So we know to let the international callers get through.
Okay, so people in the chat were saying that I'd have to put 1 in front, but it's actually 0011.
then 1, and then your number from Australia.
Holy shit. We got to write this down, guys. Like, so it's 0011, then the number.
11, and then another 1, and then your number.
So guys, if you're international, you have to dial 00111 and then the number. I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget. Like, and I wonder if it's different for every country, though. You know,
I think it would be. Just Google it, and it'll tell you what number to put in front. But I thought I'd quickly call in and tell you about my awakening, if that's something that people want to hear.
Hell yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Well, it started. I obviously wasn't born with my memories. I had my awakening about 7 years ago. I never felt like other people. I always felt different, and I didn't really understand why. And I went to a place in Australia. It's called Nimbin. It's very well known for weed and stuff like that out in Nimbin, and hippie sort of places where they live in group share housing and things like that. And I went out there for a holiday, and I went into their bookshop, and I actually found a book about Wicca. And I had never dabbled in that sort of stuff before, but it felt so familiar to me. And I had been wanting to find a book that would explain to me people that felt different and why I felt different. And I thought Wicca, I was drawn to that. So I got that book, I read it, and then I got the sequel to it. It was Scott Cunningham's book, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to get into witchcraft. And that never got off the ground. There was always something inside me that was like, not a good idea to do rituals and things like that. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
That quickly went from that to spirituality, because that was more what resonated with me. And I started to meditate. I got into meditation, and I started using intent. And then I started astral traveling, and I had Akashic record readings, and I was told that I'm an angelic soul that come to Earth to help with the awakening, to assist with the awakening. I actually remember, this is wild, a bit crazy, but I actually remember being with Source Creator. I remember being there before I came here. And I'll explain what that was like. So I was in a void of just darkness. It was just all darkness. But the feeling of being there was so hard, it's so hard to explain, but it was so fulfilling and just completion, just a really amazing, fulfilling feeling of being there. And there was it was like a sea of energy that was in this void, and I call that void the 0 point. I'm pretty sure that it is Source Creator, and everybody's thoughts, well, in this sea, within the void, everybody could just sink into everybody and hear everybody else's thoughts, which I obviously majorly ties into the fact that we're all connected and we're all from the same primordial soup. So it was amazing to be there. I remember being there. And yeah, is there anything you want to ask? I'm sort of rambling.
Oh wait, Karen in the chat wants to know: did you ever have any connections to the Pine Gap Base in Australia, or do you know about that at all? Supposedly a lot goes on there.
No. Yeah, no connection. Never been there.
Yeah.
I live in Sydney. I'm from Sydney in Australia. I'm not quite sure where Pine Gap is. That sounds quite far away.
Is that a nice ocean area there?
So many nice oceans, so many beautiful oceans. Bondi Beach is beautiful, but it gets so crowded. Yeah, there's lovely beaches.
Where I would hear about in Australia was Bell's Beach. That was always a big surf spot. Was Bell's Beach? Do you know where that is?
Oh yeah, Yeah, beautiful beach. The further up north that you get, the better the beaches are.
Yeah.
So we're sort of, Sydney is sort of on the east side of Australia, sort of like towards the bottom of Australia. Not towards the bottom, but further towards the bottom rather than the top.
Yeah.
Queensland's up the top.
And I never asked anybody from Australia this. Like, what do you guys like to eat? What's your favorite food and like stuff like that? Is it just like Americans or like?
America has awesome food, but we like our spaghetti bolognese, and we like our pizzas and our roast dinners. You know, your lamb or your beef with your veggies and your onions and your carrots and stuff. Chocolate. I love chocolate.
They have good chocolate there?
All the stuff you guys have. Yeah, good chocolate. Cadbury's the chocolate that we generally, like a popular one here. It's called Cadbury.
Huh.
Do you have Cadbury in America?
No. And it's different. Like when different towns in America have different like homemade chocolate stores. Like for example, where I'm from in Pittsburgh, there's a really like good famous chocolate place. But then if you go to somewhere else in my state, someone else, you know, so there's a lot of good food where I'm from in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Like, you know, it's interesting for sure. Like a lot of different cultures and stuff like that. But what about coffee? Do you guys drink a lot of coffee there? And like, is it good coffee?
Yeah. Good coffee. To go out to a coffee shop that's known to be good, we've got many good coffee shops, takeaway. But I like to get Moccona. It's a Mocha Kenya Moccona coffee that you can get from the shops. It's about $25 Australian. So that would be probably like 30, maybe 35 American. It's delicious. Moccona coffee. That's what I drink.
I don't know if you saw there's a someone in the chat, just now, Sovereign Cosmic Wildman. He always has such good comments. He said the gem of Australia and New Zealand to me is the Manuka honey. Do you know about that? The Manuka honey?
Oh yeah. Manuka honey is amazing. That liquid gold can heal and fix so many issues. It's such a pure honey. It's got so many beneficial things in it.
Yeah.
Also, you know what else? I've heard a lot about Australia. No offense to any Australians that are watching, but I've heard a lot of lives and stuff that I watch, especially American lives, because I'm very drawn to America and what a lot of American people have to say right now. There are a few very spiritual Australian sort of YouTube platforms, but I more gravitate towards the American people for some reason. And I really enjoy your show, Rob. I really enjoy the group that you bring in. I enjoy all the array of different topics that you speak about. I enjoy your neutrality with everybody. It's just a very warm and caring group you've got going on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. I've been watching you in a lot of the chats and stuff, and I see you get along with Coley really well, and I like that. And I was gonna say, how would you like to become a moderator?
Oh, I mean, I love to be there, and it's a pleasure to be there regardless, moderator or not. But, I mean, if you'd like to, I would never kick anybody out or anything like that without you asking or anything.
No, I think you'd be a good moderator, you know, and I like that you enjoy the shows and everything like that. So, yeah, I've been, you know, you always have good input. And I like the fact that you're a little bit skeptical about stuff too, you know, but you don't ever force your opinion on anybody, you know, you just kind of, you know, I like that too, you know.
But I really appreciate that. Please send my love to Coley. She's just an amazing woman. She just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy when I see her and when I hear her voice. She's just such a lovely person, and I'm so glad that you two have come closer together with your sharing your platform and things like that. I think that's just beautiful. And you really deserve a good girl like that, because you're a really top guy as well, Rob.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think she's pretty amazing. You know, I mean, yeah, she really is. She really is. She, you know, she got a very good heart. I told her, you know, like I was ready to get, like, you know, I was ready to get. I never said this publicly, but there was a point where I thought about giving up podcasting, and people would say, that's crazy. Like you it seems like you would never give up. But I mean, I got like really depressed right around the time of the conference when I got demonetized on my audio platform. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to make ends meet? And then she called me out of nowhere, and she was like, I remember we talked when I was in Florida, and for, like when I was at the conference, and then that made me think about her. And then she called me when I got back, and she asked me if I wanted to start doing a show. And it kind of like lit like a new fire in me, because like, I can't just, it's kind of why I did this call-in show too, because I need to do different stuff. I don't want to just keep interviewing people. You know what I mean? Like I'd like to mix it up and do interesting new stuff. And so she kind of like re-inspired me,
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Look, we all love your channel, and that, like I said before, just the array of different things that you cover, all the different people you have on, all the different topics. It's fantastic. We love to be here, and it's a safe place as well for everybody to share their opinions and their thoughts. And I appreciate you saying that you like my input in the chat. I do sort of say my piece, and I really should not be so upfront with saying my piece so much, but I just want people to know the truth. I want people to know that they're powerful, and to know that they are a fractal of Source Creator experiencing itself, and they can do anything if they put their mind to it. And I want people to be safe, and I want whoever's been trapped here for a long time to come home.
Yeah, I agree. So do you think we're in some kind of like prison planet, or do you think we can get out of here? Like, and like.
I do believe that we can get out of here. I also believe that there have been people that may very well have just kept reincarnating, whether that be the soul trap, whether that be karma, whether that just be them completely losing their memories and forgetting completely who they are, and so they keep getting tricked, or maybe they are enforced to come back and have another human incarnation in order to learn more. Whatever that may be, I feel like some people do keep reincarnating and need to remember who they are in order to be able to return home. And I think others coming here with a mission and are able to exit when their time comes, because they only came in here for a specific mission. I think it really depends on the person, Rob, to be honest. I don't think it's a prison planet as such, but I do believe it's a very low realm, and there's a lot to be learned here.
Yeah, I agree. Well, this was amazing. Thank you so much for calling in. You're I think you're the last caller officially for the night, because we've been going about 3 hours. I'm gonna take off soon. But this was amazing. Like, do you have any final words you want to leave for the audience? And
final words. Remember who you are. You are the Most High experiencing itself. You have power. Use your intentions. Start getting your memories back. You're an eternal being, and you can get access to your memories. Everything is within you. Use your intent and push through with what is the opportunity to speak on your.
Much, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care. Thank you.
No worries.
Most amazing call-ins tonight. Honestly, amazing. The chat was good tonight, but like the chat really wasn't on fire. I'd love to get this built up to where we have like more, people. Like, I mean, I thought the call-ins would get a lot of people. Maybe some people just don't tune in some nights. I don't know. But I mean, I also think YouTube doesn't show the correct amount of numbers. We got a lot of different people, and like, we've been going about 3 hours. I think this is where we're going to end it for the night. And, I just appreciate everybody tuning in, especially our guests now, or the people that we know from Australia, like Spiritual Ascension and Spider Bite. They're watching the whole way in Australia. So the fact that they watch me all the time from Australia is amazing. Like, that's like, you know, that's great to know that we have family all across the seas, you know, like, and, you know, I just think that's the reach of YouTube. You know, that's the good thing about this platform is like, you know, you get to experience people from, you know, every country in the world. Like, you know, like Kaysen, if you guys remember Kaysen's from Sri Lanka, I believe. You know, there's a lot of people that are from the UK and Canada, and, you know, it's just amazing. Like, and, you know, you don't get that as much on Rumble. You know, it's more of like a national audience on Rumble, you know, but I mean, so, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. And, yeah, just again, support the podcast, guys. And, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will do this again very soon. And tomorrow we have Matthew Morning coming on. So it's going to be a great show. You know, me and Matthew will get into conspiracies. Maybe me and Matthew will even take a couple calls at the end or something, or we'll figure out a way to take call. I don't know. You know, like we can definitely do something like that. I'll ask him about that. But yeah, tomorrow, Matthew Morning at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, and then I might try to upload the Gareth Ike interview onto YouTube, because I don't think it was that bad. And I think YouTube might let it go. So, you know, I'll try to upload the Gareth Ike interview to YouTube for the people that didn't get a chance to see it yet. And then, but that is on Rumble right now too, so you guys can watch and support the Rumble channel. It's David Icke's son, you know, Gareth Ike, and then there's also another, like I said, a Carrie Cassidy interview from Project Camelot on there that maybe you guys didn't see from recently. That got a lot of views. That got like 7,000 views, you know. So, you know, that's doing well on Rumble. So yeah, support the show on Rumble, guys, you know, because Rumble was there for me when I didn't have a channel. You know what I mean? So I'll always try to support Rumble. So, all right, guys, I don't think I have any other announcements. You guys know that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I have shows with Coley, and those should be good. Friday we got Jim Goodall coming on, so that should be an amazing show. I'm really looking forward to that. And I don't know. I think that's it, guys. All right. I love you guys all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you soon, and good night, guys.